Hello.
Hello. Hello, and from the beautiful Glenview Club in Goff, Illinois, and welcome to day one of the APTA Network's coverage of the 44th Annual Chicago Charities, the second Grand Prix event of the 2017-18 season, brought to you by the APTA's national sponsors, Viking, Save-A-Tree, and Uline. And of course, CNET Live, our live stream production. I'm Rodney Workman, along with Hall of Famer Patty Hogan, bringing you round of 16 coverage between the unseeded team of Allison Morgan and Lauren Brandt, and the fifth seeded team of Martina Ondrejkova and Anna Zubori. Patty, how are we shaping up here?
Well, Rod, it's always a pleasure to sit next to you during these tournaments, and we love it when we get some amazing matchups early on here. We've got Laura Berendt, who's from Lombard, Illinois, current team ranking 13th. Lauren is an amazing talent. She's the rackets pro at Edgewood Valley Country Club in Illinois. She's a former finalist in our national championship, Rod, with, do you remember the player? Annika van Starenburg went out to Prendergast. And to stay on task, Rod, she's playing today with Allison Morgan. Allison's a local from Lake Bluff, Illinois, currently ranked 13th, and she's a racket pro at Birchwood Club in Illinois. Their opponents today, incredibly talented Martina Ondrejkova, former national champion with Gabby, and she's teamed up with a fairly new partner, and they've had great showing so far. Anna Zubori, who's from Westport, Connecticut, currently ranked 22nd, and they are paired up here for the third time, and they've had a couple of great top four finishes so far this year, Rod. So I think they are going to give, I mean, it's going to be a battle. We love this Chicago representation out here, all these talented players, and I mean, I think it's going to be a great one.
I'm with you, and we certainly are going to be treated to some great paddle with Laura, who's very exciting over there on the far side in the sunglasses and the dark attire and the ad side, and Allison Morgan, an upstart, relatively new to the game, but she's a quick study. Her and her husband won the married mixed. Is that a fact,
husband
Patty?
and wife national champions.
Perfect. She plays a rock-solid deuce court. Very few errors out of her side, and we'll hit some timely big forehands. Martina just had the pleasure of calling a match of hers in Pittsburgh. She is one of the best players in the game.
She's, I think, the best player to ever wear white pants in the women's game.
And her partner, Anna, is, again, another very stylish player. She's got a lot of firepower. We should have a good one. Obviously, the 5 seeds are favored, but don't be surprised if this is a very, very tight match.
Hey, Rod, how did they get here? I know these women started out this morning at 9 o'clock. We have so many amazing clubs who are hosting the Chicago Charities over the following 3 days. What action did we miss out on that we need to fill our audience at home in on?
Well, Laura and Allison won 6-2, 6-love over the unseeded team of Bolton Fensick. And Martina and Anna won 1-0 over Aldinger and Emo.
And their first round match, great women from California who travel to tournaments. And I mean, it just shows how good Ondrejkova and Zubori are. They're an incredibly talented, and all of these players in this tournament are better than average, Rod. And to see a 6-0 or 6-1 score, I mean, that's tough in the early going, but you see it because the seeded players need to finish these early round matches so that they save up their energy for 6 matches over 2 days.
And that's such a big part of it, Patty, is having gas in the tank on Sunday, ready to win the whole thing. This draw landscape was presented by Save-A-Tree, Patty. And how about our umpire today?
Our umpire for this match is Rob Laboon. Rob is, he'll get up in that chair soon, and we'll hear him keeping score for us, which is really helpful. Rob is a teaching pro, and I believe he's now residing in the Chicago area. Rod is from Morristown, New Jersey, Rod, where I live.
He was a fine player in his own right. Big power player, Rob was. And
so, Rod, who does the winner of this match play? What are our matchups looking like? I mean, I know at the
Hannes
bottom.
Van Sternberg, number 3 seeds, are playing McKinnon and Maglucky.
Right, and we would assume that our
Number 3 seeds should
the
be
three
there.
seeds will prevail, and they would end up potentially playing. Well, they'll definitely play the winner of this match. On the top half of this draw, we have Jardis and Shea, and they're playing against Stoughton and Waverly, which is going to be, I mean, a very exciting match. Murphy and Schneeback just went out to Stoughton Waverly. Waverly was a fill-in for our friend Wendy Spitz, who lost a dear friend, and so she couldn't play. So Mary Doughton, being a Hall of Famer, great player, just kind of strapped her friend on and said, let's go. And they had nothing to lose, and sometimes that makes a team very dangerous in a draw.
And a shout out to Mary. She's done so much for platform tennis out in Hinsdale, Illinois. I coined that Paddletown, USA. The last few years, they have exploded out there, and she's a big reason why. Sorry about Wendy's loss, and but on the other quarter we got Jane McNitt, Chelsea Nusslock, and they're going up against Liz Hayward and Holly Bodman, an all Chicago match, which will be very interesting.
Well, Rod, as we've talked about the women's game going, the depth in these draws, every round of 16 match here really features talented teams. And actually, we can't pick who's going to win so easily. I mean, that would be fun, and I'd be willing to do it. But
we really can't.
We're not in a day where you could just advance your top 4 seeds into the semis.
Exactly, and to that point, we've got that going on right here, right now. And I really like Laura and Allison's chances here to put up a good fight against the number 5 seeds.
And this is a 2 out of 3 set match, Rod, I believe, just like all of them.
Regular
and
scoring, I'm assuming.
We are on the second stop on the APTA's Grand Prix Tour.
On my right is Martina Ondrejkova from Stamford, Connecticut, and also on my right is Anna Zubori from Westport, Connecticut. On my left is Laura Berendt from Lombard, Illinois, and her partner Allison Morgan from Lake Bluff, Illinois. The match will be the best 2 out of 3 sets, tie break at 6-all.
All 4 players are teaching professionals, and so they get to hit balls all week during their drills, their privates, and that actually helps them stay pretty grooved. They can work on their control and never missing skills, which is a huge part of this game, Patty, is just...
Yeah, they're machine-like because of their practice, and that's why they can make this sport look so easy. I mean, it really is not as easy as these 4 players will make it look.
Well, the level keeps getting better and better, and
no grace with the foot faults. Oh, by the way, I'm so sorry. My
and
name's
Martina
Rob.
again she's emerged as being one of the premier players in the game. She's always fun to watch. She's got some of the great cut overheads. She puts some extra sizzle on those shots, which causes a lot of loose errors on the receiving side. Here they are.
On a Zubori serving.
Foot fault.
Rob Laboon calling a foot fault.
Right off the bat, he's setting the tone, and hopefully that won't get in the head too much of Anna.
That's Laura Berendt out of the ad court, returning serve.
5 seeds backs are to us. Love 30.
30.
Players play for the whole year without a lines judge, and then they get up there and they get a foot fault called on them in the very first point of the match. How's that affect them usually, Patty?
Well, I think that's when players who have worked with, sports psychologists, mind coaches, Rod, head coach in particular out here in the Chicago area. I mean, you have to have delete, just hit delete immediately.
15-40.
Short memory, make your adjustment and carry on. 30-40.
30-40.
Battling back from a love 40 opening game. There's a break right off the bat.
Harnish.
So, Rod, I love calling these matches with you and kind of right away making my pick. Whose match is this to win? Who's the pressure on? I mean, clearly the pressure in this match has to be on our higher seeds.
Well, for sure, and the unseeded team could very well have been seeded. This player serving right here, Lauren, she is tremendous. All-American at the University of Texas Longhorn tennis team. She's got game on top of game, and I love watching her play. She actually taught here at the Glenview Club early in her career and learned her skills right here. Great move from Allison. She'd like to have that back.
30.
When you're blitzing, always keep your racket above the net. Don't finish below or that ball will get netted.
And Laura doesn't travel very much, Rod, so she's not going to earn those ranking points that then can be paired with someone when they team up for an event. So that'll keep her low in the seeds, but it doesn't mean much right now.
30 all.
From a tennis standpoint, she is probably one of the best in the tournament, and obviously it's not tennis, but to play at that level, she's got game and she's got nerves. She doesn't get rattled in these matches. She actually thrives. The bigger the match, the better she plays. Her partner Allison played tennis at Grand Valley State. Just had her little baby Callie, and her father's here today watching Callie while she plays.
40-30.
Husband Adam, director of tennis at the Lake Forest Club, is in attendance as well.
Deuce.
Great return from Anna. She takes that right hip drive, locates it perfectly. Allison needs to stay down on that. Just deflect it back.
Advantage, Ms. Ondrejkova.
What we'll see all afternoon is the Zubori forehand. She can hit the ball as powerfully as any woman out here.
It's a great recovery by Zubori off the leg court serve.
How'd you like that?
She played it behind her back, and for those watching for the first time, if you hit a ball out of the court, you lose the point. So we're 1-all. First set, Patty.
Ms. Ondrejkova to serve.
Martina to serve. Looking right at Allison in the deuce court. Love the camera angles provided by eNet Live.
15.
Our friend John from St. Louis has done a great job getting all these camera angles set up. Here you can see Rob LeBoon, our umpire, up in the chair. Notice that reset volley that Anna hit right into Allison's backhand.
And whether it's a volley or an overhead, you can reset right up the middle, typically to the deuce player's backhand, Rod.
Works all day against two righties. If she's a lefty over there, different story.
30-15.
I think one of the keys to this match will be Martina's serving. She has beautiful motion, but I think she's really going to have to be the leader out here and be rock solid.
I'd like to see Allison clear there. She was jumping in there with her backhand. You got to let Lauren come in there with that forehand and put the hammer down.
One other thing I'll look for in this match is Allison usually plays the ad court, very active, quick player, and here she is over in the deuce court because of Laura's explosiveness out of that ad court, and it'll be curious to see how solid a deuce court player she is.
Zubori, they lead 2-1 first set.
And what I mean by that, Rod, is, you know, when you taught all your students over the years, there's roles, and in every point you build the points. Sometimes it's really helpful to have someone who's looking to be a little bit more of the builder of the point. And sometimes if both of you are looking to hit explosive shots, leads to errors.
Quick shout out to one of our lead national sponsors in Viking. They are the premier brand and undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of course the Grand Prix Tour. The official paddle of the APTA, engineered to provide superior feel and the perfect balance of power, control, spin, and durability. The Viking paddle is the official paddle of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour.
Football.
Well, what goes around comes around. Allison gets called for her first one. What fault that is.
Football.
He could. I said she did it again, and good for him for calling it.
Line before you hit the ball.
Allison got dinged again on it. She better make the adjustments. She's swiveling her foot, I think.
She takes that step with the right foot there, and she
was close
stood a little
there.
further back there.
She needs to get further back, or that right foot is going to haunt her. Let's see how she responds to 2 foot faults.
Game. Ondrejkova, Zubori. They lead 3-1 first set.
So my point that I was making before, Rod, about Berendt and Morgan is both are explosive out of the ad court, and it'll be curious to see if they get better at building points in this match. I don't see that yet.
Well, obviously, Allison's got to change her role, more like when she played with her husband to win the husband-wife nationals.
Well, she made Adam look so good in that match, Ron.
I'll make sure I remind him of that too, Patty. Oh, she's solid, but know your roles, to your point. Great return down below the knees. 15-30. At this stage, Patty, we're trying to figure out what each team's game plan is.
30 all.
A loose wire error from Lauren.
Can't blame it on the sun.
Got a perfect day for paddle, actually. Great get.
30-40.
From Allison. She takes that drop volley and tries to stuff it right back into Anna's body and executes perfectly.
After having a baby this year. That's her quickness and footwork we spoke of earlier.
So Laura's struggling on those backhand wires, Patty, early in the match.
And as a result, we'll expect to see Martina and Anna go after her over there. She's lethal off the deck with her forehand and backhand. But if you can get it into her screens, that's not her preferred way to play the shots.
Yeah, she's a ball striker. She never met a ball or never met a drive she didn't like. And overcooked that one. Back to deuce. And a good huddle up here, Martina and Anna, and if you're watching out there, they've been giving signals, so the left hand knows what the right hand's doing. There again, a good drive off the wires from Laura, keeping them honest.
And I like that she drove it right at a target, just keep the point going. Then she picks her spot on a shorter ball, and she'll be far more effective.
Beautiful location from Laura Berendt. Add out. Good dig from Allison. That ball was glued to the side screen. Picked it clean. Great covery. She played the nick perfectly. That would be Laura, and there's the break.
Game, Ms. Berendt and Ms. Morgan. Miss Ondrejkova and Miss Zubori lead 3 games to 2. First set.
So that was big. Berendt and Morgan need to be super competitive in the early going here. I think that Ondrejkova and Zubori could be really good front runners as a team, and I think this is where Alice and Laura just need to keep this close, and then it's a free-for-all. Anybody can win it.
I'm with you. I mean, those foot faults they hurt Allison, and it'll be interesting to see how she recovers.
This is Laura Berendt serving 2-3. First set, round of 16, APTA Grand Prix, Chicago Charities.
We've got an update on court 2 that Lemery and Rohrbach are up 3-zip against Freddie Uline Goldenberg and Radzikowski. Round of 16 action, trying to get to the Elite 8.
15 love.
The Chicago Charities. 15 love.
I
Great
love that forehand stroke, Rod.
It's a hammer.
That's one of the interesting things we'll have to look for on put that return right through the middle.
No panic though, just run back and play it off the back screens. Throw up your lob and start it over.
30,
but I think for them to hold serve effectively, I think Laura Berendt's going to have to proceed more, follow the path of the ball, Rod, right up and close off that middle of the court here on the first volley.
That's a great point.
And this is where Laura Berendt has an incredible attack overhead, Rod.
She does, and that is just taking dead aim at her opponent and trying to square her up and hit her if in fact that's what happens. Otherwise, if it goes to the screen, it's tough to run down.
Games are 3-all, first set.
Well, in the women's game, we see a lot of the players with those offensive attack overheads, and as a screen player, baseline, you've got to take off. Martina can't wait that long to respond to that shot.
She got caught flat-footed there for sure, but now she knows that Laura's
got
that tool in the toolbox.
Yeah, she'll make the adjustment.
Great dig right there. And I love the way Allison threw that lob up in the air, so it gives her time to get back.
That's Zubori hitting the overhead into the ad court. That's Lauren Berendt crushing that two-handed backhand.
Great chicken wing volley from Anna Zubori.
Love.
And that's Martina, who won the point the easiest way, Rod. Let the ball go out.
Easier said than done sometimes to get out of the way of that ball at point blank range.
15-all.
Just a monster return from Laura. Again, right up into the body. It's a tough chicken wing volley.
Rod, that wasn't very nice of her to hit it that hard. Is that okay?
That's part of the game. Once you put 4 mammals inside the cage like that, anything goes. Some players don't like it, and then they should play a little deeper so they're less of a target. But that's become part of the game in the last 8 to 10 years.
So the first adjustment by
30-all.
Zubori Ondrejkova here to Laura Berendt's great forehand return to serve. They went I formation. Little unlucky let court.
3-all, 30-all. This match is dead even.
And you have these moments in the matches early on, and this will probably be a pretty significant one.
Good lob from Allison. Get your opponents behind the service line when hitting overheads and setting up that drive. Again, I'd love to see Allison let Laura have those balls unobstructed. I'm not sure how much they've played together, but look at Laura's relentless barrage.
30-40.
That's why, you know, Laura is effective on the move. Let her move and take those shots. She's got a weapon.
Indeed. There's the break.
Kane, Berendt, and Morgan, they lead the first set 4-3.
And Rod, a lot of times, you know, when you're the person up at the net and you're trying to help your partner hold serve, that is one of the more difficult things to do. But I always think the teams that have the most success, where we saw it with Ondrejkova and Gabby Niculescu. Gabby is so active at the net on her partner's serve, and she really can help take away some of those amazingly offensive return of serves. I think Anna got picked off there by Laura, and then Laura moved her next return, which made it that much more effective.
Very accurate, Laura is, as well as powerful. You move those returns 12 inches one way to the other. That's how you get easy errors.
Allison Morgan was just serving. Berendt and Morgan up 4-3. First set. Round of 16, APTA Chicago Charities event.
Great hands. First point, game 8, first set. Great hands from Laura. Look at that. Look at the athleticism here. And a loose error.
15 love.
If Allison can serve well, I like their chances. She has to shake off those 2 foot faults called by Rob Laboon, our umpire, and
15 all.
have a short memory.
It's fun to watch the hands of Allison Morgan in that white jacket, about to serve. She moves effortlessly between her forehand and backhand volleys, Rod.
She sure does, and she's improved just so much. And look at that. I love that. Just let it go through. And there's a loose overhead from Anna. That's a couple for her now. Again, Rich Mayer used to always say, Rodney, never ever miss an overhead. He only won a 10, 11 national championships, something along those lines. So
40-30.
again, Allison's serve is going to be problematic. Watching out for the foot faults, and a great choice from Anna.
Deuce.
Laura was already backing up a little bit on her heels. She's got to stay strong. No backing up. I think Allison's just a little flustered with the foot fault calls. She's trying desperately not to do it. She's thinking more about that than confidently serving at this stage.
Advantage, Ms. Zubori.
And because you can always stay back and let the ball go through, there's no reason to fault. Just put it in and do exactly what you're just doing here. And it's not giving up anything, Rod. It's just putting your team in a better position to win the point.
Well, that's unfortunate. They were up 40-15 and then lost 4 straight points
Games are 4 all.
to the 5 seeds. Ondrejkova, Zubori, it's 4 all. First set. That gives Anna and Martina a little bit of momentum coming back now. Could have gone down 5-3. Now it's 4 all in a battle for the first set. 44th Chicago Charities at the Glenview Club here in Gulf, Illinois.
This year's Charities, Rod, do you want to tell us a little bit about the TED Fund?
15 love.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay. You're right, I'll hold it. I'll go through this because charities do a great job every year. Pick an effort that needs support, and everyone loves why the charities, why you play the charities.
We'll get
It's to
that
benefit everyone.
after the first set. We'll get on that guy. I formation. She slides over. Good rip. Look at the blitz. She keeps coming. Keeps squeezing. Look how Ondrejkova and Zubori just
there we
gave
go
up the net.
again. That lob short, Laura Berendt's overhead is really the difference for them as the net team here. I mean, Martina got out of the way and, you know, Anna took flight, but I think it's a problem here.
If they don't get their lobs higher or deeper, Laura's going to be teeing those things up. And they're going to be a duck and a shooting gallery. Look at that. Nice dig. There's the dink drop.
What a big time get right there. She missed it wide. Saw that there was no swing from the net player. She knew it was going to be a drop.
And if you notice, Laura was going around the net post out there, fans. You do not have to go over the net in this game. That's why the angle drop volleys are somewhat dangerous. Great volley from Martina. Takes the game. They're up 5-4 first set.
They lead 5-4 first set.
Ted Fun addresses this troubling, ever-widening gap in Evanston between the haves and the have-not. The fund, which is gaining the support of the charities this weekend, enables public school children from families with limited financial resources to participate in the kinds of quality programming most Evanston kids tend to take for granted. Thank you, Charities.
I didn't know that about the Chicago Charities. That's some good history, Patty. We've got some more on that too for you, but 44 years this paddle tournament's been going on, and just a loose volley from Laura. Great drive though, down off the shoe tops.
Great return from Zubori. Great move in from Ondrejkova. I love that kind of pressure on key points.
Speaking of pressure, there's a let cord service ace. Again, there's no lets in this game. For those out there watching. And that's frustrating for Anna, knowing that Laura's not following her serve in. Just roll it to the open court, take the net over. Another loose error from Martina.
Really surprised right there. Back-to-back return of serve errors that didn't even get in play.
And Laura's staying back, you know, so there's what we're talking about now. Great volley from Anna. Notice the way she uses that chicken wing, as I call it. They're targeting that right hip, and you can't flip those out there, gang. If you flip it, you're going to miss it. You got to keep the backhand volley squared up to the net.
Double set point, Rod. Possibly not. I think I lost the score.
Now it's set point. You knew it was coming.
Okay.
Let's see how they serve it. And again, a great spot to the right hip. Force the flip. Huge point right here, Patty. Got the good first volley.
I'll be curious if Morgan and Berendt will switch to get Berendt's overhead on the left side of the two, you know, in that position.
I'm with you on that. Although Allison prevailed there. When you have two righties at the net, the player on the ad side is the captain of the overheads, as I've taught for years. They'll play 80-90%.
Wow, it's the third return of serve error in this game. Second one from Zubori.
And it's interesting, Patty, that both teams had 40-15 leads and lost those games in the last two games.
We're at 5-all. Ondrejkova serving.
Struggling to close. Like to see Allison get those things up. She sniffed that one out, though. Great anticipation. Martina could use a little more deception on that drop. She tipped it a little early. Show the overhead, show big power, and then dink it. That might do it for her. Good rip. Another good rip.
Really solid volleying. We talk about that wall, and Zubori and Ondrejkova set up their wall on that point. Stayed pretty disciplined, more backhand volleys.
They build a nice wall up there, Patty, that's tough to get through.
Again, that same play, Berendt and Zubori.
That return is a pretty common shot for Laura, who hits a big return just right at the net player, just like that. Challenge that net player. Nothing wrong with that out there, gang. You hit at the net player. That they're stationary. It's a lot of times easier for the server coming in who's moving to volley than the person who's standing flat-footed. There it is again. She's just going at that net player.
Well, I think what we see often is the return to serves
15-40.
are greater than anyone's serve out here in most of the women's game.
Well, I saw a stat on what percentage our service breaks, and it's 57%. They had 43% service holds as one of the stats I sold, so the advantage goes to the return to server.
That's why, Rod, I'm a firm believer that everything comes down to volleys, and the only note I have from this set so far are the volley errors, and I think, you know, Anna had a couple in that game, and it could prove to be the difference here. Lemery Rohrbach are up in their round of 16 match. We'll give you the score in 1 second. This is Allison Morgan serving, and a Zubori returning serve. Berendt and Morgan are up 6-5, first set.
15 all.
15 all.
Let's see what Allison's strategy is here. Go in I formation. She's definitely lost some confidence in the serve, so she's just staying back. Anna's got an amazing forehand return of serve. Great spot.
Shouldn't really need to force that, Rod. This is a huge point, and just keep making the net player hit a volley.
I'd like to see her lob up that line, and which will give Laura a few more looks.
30 all.
30 up. Huddle up. It's like a pitcher and a catcher in the World Series. Congratulations to Houston Astros.
Who's Houston here, Rod? We'll see.
It's set
that
point.
Was a great lob from Morgan.
40-30.
I mean, she forced that big-time overhead error.
Perfect lob.
We have set point here for Morgan and Berendt.
Deuce.
Way to go, Zubori. She just took it. You know, she hit her best shot in the, in that moment. Good for her.
Did. Once again, Laura on her heels a little bit. She knows the heat is coming. Now in this transition, well, once again,
advantage, Ms. Morgan.
I think that's her 4th or 5th missed overhead. She's struggling out there, and we got a nice day for paddle with an overcast sky, although the sun's starting to peek its head out. Rain is forecasted throughout the weekend, though.
Set point number 2.
There we go. Good play. She's just missed some overheads. Give her a few more. That's what you're looking for. Nice cover. Game in first set.
Morgan.
Chicago.
Set, 7-5.
Again, some good timely lobs from Allison and some powerful drives from
2 minutes.
Laura.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Gets them to 7-5. First set.
You have to have a passion for taking care of the customer, and you have to do your job as if your last name was Uline.
For my business, everything's go, 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 and the customer service alone is one of the most valuable things for us. We can call and the phone's picked up immediately. We never have to wait in a queue.
The phones don't ring at least half the time because they go directly into the headsets of our customer service representatives because they know we're waiting for it, and it can be a very fast transaction for them.
Order placed by 6 o'clock p.m., order ships out, customer gets that product more often than not in one business day.
Not only are those orders going out the door quickly, but accurately.
We live and breathe reliability.
But we really do care if a product's returned. We do care if it's not working right. We try to do it better every day.
Every single person looks at customer comments. I mean, that's where we learn.
Come to Uline because service has always been much, much better here. I always feel like you're treated like you're appreciated, you know.
We do it well. We do it real well.
Once a customer gets used to that, why would you want to leave? We treat you well.
Welcome back to the 44th Chicago Charities. We're in a round of 16 match right here between Allison Morgan, Laura Berendt, unseeded, playing the number 5 seeds, Anna Zubori and Martina Ondrejkova. Morgan, Berendt won the first set 7-5. Patty, what'd you see out there?
Could have gone either way. Great set of play in terms of being competitive score-wise. I don't think either team hit their stride, but I think that the combination of Allison Morgan's well-placed lobs and Laura Berendt's ability to finish off some points, along with her offensive attack overheads, kind of left Zubori and Ondrejkova flat-footed on the baseline a little too much.
And I see on your sheet here you mentioned you wrote down volley errors. It seemed like they made more volley errors at the end of the day.
So if I were coaching
40-15.
Zubori and Ondrejkova right there, they have to defend Laura Berendt's drive on the return to serve. That should be problem number 1 to address right now. Martina should go up closer, set her paddle possibly up higher, take it at a higher contact point.
I like that, Patty, the idea just getting closer to the net. You know it's coming, and if you're not going to get closer, just give the net up.
And you're
both play back.
Right. And if that great driver throws up a lob, that's a moral victory for you as the net player. So you have to get on top of the net and take away that, the person's ability to get that ball to dip below the level of the net.
At the end of the day, you just need to get into the point somehow, some way, and obviously they're into this one, Berendt and Morgan. Long point here, one of the longer points of the match. You know that's coming. And she got caught flat-footed in no man's land.
Ondrejkova, Zubori, they lead 1-0, second set.
Patty, we just watched a commercial from Uline, one of our lead national sponsors. We have Freddie Uline Goldenberg playing on court 2 here, who I had the pleasure of giving tennis and paddle lessons to on Wednesday over the years. She's from Atlanta. She and her partner are down in this match, so she's actually playing against one of my other former pros, Kelly Rohrbach, and Miss Lemery.
Love 15.
All right, love
Berendt
15.
Serving. Sorry, Rod.
Really important for Laura and Allison to get off to a good start, because the natural thing, Patty, is you win the first set, there's a natural let down, and the team that loses it, there's a natural pick up.
And who knows what nerves were involved early on there, but sometimes, I think if you're Ondrejkova, Zubori, you just delete and start the match right now.
I like that, Patty. I'm surprised and impressed how well Allison survived the foot fault
Love,
calls.
40.
She had 2 or 3 called on her, and she checked out with the umpire to get what was going on, and it was her back foot that she's bringing up. Seems to have made the adjustment. But they're down love 40 right here. Anna trying that super Ginsu drop shot.
15,
Came up a hair short. She might want to get a hair closer to the net for that. Laura Berendt serving. Her back to us. Uncharacteristic missed drive.
Zubori, they lead 2 games to love, second set.
And kind of a tough choice for for that drive there. Inside out, up the line, no court to work with. Had the ball gone over, it would be out of bounds.
Great volley, great length on that volley from Anna. Got it deep enough on the right pace, and it died off the screen.
So right now, Zubori's got to get her paddle up above the net, just in case Lauren's going to bring it at her.
15 all.
Martina was trying to protect her with the serve up the tee to take the pressure off her partner having to hit that first volley.
And that's step 1 to neutralizing. There's a ball out of court into the other court.
Rod, when we talk about all these
30.
chicken wing volleys, no one does it by design. Your opponent's great spot on a drive forces you to make it look like a chicken wing volley.
Aiming for the right hip.
But right there,
30
Zubori
all.
was really lucky. She was backing up. I mean, that was Laura had her on that shot.
She certainly did. Great return from Allison down at the shoe tops.
30,
And you can
40.
see how far off the net Zubori was playing there. I do think they have to make the adjustment. She's got to go much closer to the net here on Martina's serve.
I'm with you on that. Great pickup from Martina. It's break point. Laura and Allison need this.
And I would look for that setup more from Ondrejkova Zubori, with Martina getting herself in a position to sort of dictate a little bit more and control the points as the net team. I think Zubori loves to hit the overheads, but I think Martina's a little bit cagier about what shots can lead to breaking down Morgan and Berendt here. Rod?
Add out again. Second break point. Nice stab volley from Anna. Nice soft hands from Allison.
Love how easy she makes those screens look, Rod.
There it is. That's the Hank Irvine
Morgan.
School of driving the low short ball. Hit it hard up and into their body. It either hits them or it goes out. And that time, she couldn't get out of the way.
7 games to 5.
All right, I'd like to shout out to one of our lead sponsors, national sponsors, in Save a Tree. It's Tree, Shrub, and Lawn Care. APTA thanks our official sponsor, Save a Tree, the green choice for tree, shrub, and lawn care. Let Save a Tree focus on your landscape so you can focus on your paddle game and enjoy every outdoor moment at home or play. Save a Tree provides environmentally sensible services to properties in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and Western regions. Contact them at saveatree.com for a complimentary landscape assessment.
15 love.
15 love. Big game for Allison here. She's, I think, conquered her foot faulting issues.
Rod, volley error once again. Sorry from Zubori. You just can't play that far off the net against Berendt.
I'm with you, Patty. I'd love to see them just take that one step closer.
30 love.
Sometimes you think it's going to take away time, but actually you get closer, you can stuff the volley back at them quicker.
Rod, we're both fans of that you have to, and I think both teams would benefit by, being more aggressive on the volleys. All 4 of them appear to be a little flat-footed, playing a little bit off the net. Kind of surprised by that.
I'm with you on that. I'm a big fan of
30,
being able to reach out and touch the net from your starting ready position.
Rod, we have Lemery Rohrbach had a great win to advance into the quarterfinals of the Chicago Charities.
40-15.
Well, that was bittersweet for me. I'm pulling for Freddie. Love her to death. But Kelly, same thing. She worked with me for a number of years. Great professional, great player, great person. Trying to get back to even here. Nice dig from Allison. Anna's working her pretty good in that backhand, but that's her Achilles heel right now. She's missed a plethora of overheads. She tries to super sizzle them up, a little Wanaraya style, but she's making too many errors. So the question is it worth it to go for more sizzle on the overheads or just make them?
I think it's clear you have to put the ball in the court to win a point, Rod. And that's why I'm saying I would look for Martina to kind of take over.
15 love.
But Martina is play with Gabby, and Gabby handled overheads for her for the last 2 years, and really the attacking kind of overheads
and that's interesting
came
too,
from Gabby.
Martina is the tallest player, one of the tallest players in our
love.
game. You'd think the tall player might take more of the overheads, but not the case.
I never bought into that theory.
You never met an overhead you didn't like. Well, it's all about just locating that overhead, isn't it? Just hitting it where you can't get hurt. Good dig.
And here we go again, going right at Anna, backing up there on the net.
Look at that point. Bravo.
30-15.
So I think this is textbook. Do they shift? Do they go to hit an aggressive volley when they need to? And rather, I think the other thing is we talk about firming up your grip on volleys so that, the pace of the ball doesn't impact your volley so much. And Anna's got such soft, great hands from being a high-level tennis player, but it's almost like they're too soft on too many volleys.
40-30.
Well, I like your style, Patty. Get closer and firm it up. And get low. You got to stay down on these volleys.
Ball was in.
Okay, they called the serve out off the leg cord,
Zubori,
and it was in fact in. Overruled.
Morgan won the first set.
Point goes to Ondrejkova and Zubori. Up 3-2 second set. They lost the first set 7-5.
I kind of am waiting to see Martina put a little more influence on this match, but I'm just not sure that's a style she's comfortable with, Rod.
Well, you're going to be the alpha dog or the beta dog out there. It's the best paddle teams usually have both, one of each. You get two alpha
15.
dogs on the same team if they're both on. Tough, but usually doesn't work as well. Great volley from Allison, and she gives up the net. A relentless barrage of drives from Laura Berendt, Chicago native. Great preparation from Allison on these lobs. There's that cross or the up the line lob I like. It means Laura should get balls to hit like that, and bang. Why do you lob? So you can drive.
Love 30.
Love 30.
Great combination of shots there, Rod. We know that.
Love 40.
If you can make that move in as after your partner hits that great low return of serve, really tough to defend.
That's the ham and egg move.
15,
Good low drive
40.
followed by the blitzing partner. It's tough to handle. 15-40, double break point.
Game. Ondrejkova, Zubori, they lead 4-2.
I'd like to see Allison shift over a little bit when the serve gets hit from Laura to straddle that center service line. Close that middle a little more so you're not stabbing at volleys. Great rip from Laura.
You see that same volley over, and she's dropping her paddle head, Rod, almost looking to hit a finesse volley where she's got to defend the first drive in every point. I wouldn't look to drop or do anything beyond defending on the first offensive drive that comes my way in a point.
Well, the one thing you know for sure is that it's coming. And there's no surprises with Laura. She's going to rip every ball that's in her strike zone, and some that aren't.
Solid, boring volley from Martina right there, Rod. She just locked her wrist, let the ball hit her paddle. Nice, low, bouncing volley.
Good play. Look at Anna cover that.
Really great.
Peg overhead. And a great overhead there. Perfect lob. Wow.
And Zubori, Ondrejkova kind of switched there, and I don't think Martina wanted to switch, but Zubori wanted to get herself to the left of the two players.
Yes, she did. Great serve. Martina put a little extra giddy up on that one.
Got it up the tee, pulled Laura Berendt out of her most comfortable striking zone.
She ends up lunging for it, and probably better off to let it go off the back screen. It'll take 50% of the speed off the ball and then pull the trigger there. Look at that. She just keeps it coming.
Good solid volleys there.
40, 30.
Or maybe a slight mishit.
Possibly.
I mean, that was a great location to the right hip. Allison may want to take a step in when her partner starts banging the big drives. Break point. Excuse me, that was hold point.
Game, Ondrejkova, Zubori, they lead 5-2, second set. Morgan won the first set, 7-5.
And there, Zubori did exactly what we were telling her to do through her wireless headset from our coaching, right, Rod? No. But what she really had to do was defend the first drive of Laura and then do whatever else she wants to do. Just make sure you get the first one back. And that's how Berendt's going to get some pressure on her as a driver. She loves driving. And she loves it more if people miss so many volleys.
Great overhead. Tremendous cover. She sniffed it out and hit the perfect answer, Patty.
I'm not sure if Zubori thought that ball was going out, Rod. That was odd. I thought she could have made a play on it.
30, love.
This is big right now. She's got to stay mentally tough. She let that other ball go, and I think was thinking about it and just put one in the net.
This is a good game so far for Laura. And Allison up 40 love. This is exactly what they needed if they want to creep back into this second set. We've talked about it many times on the air. No lead is big enough in this game. The ultimate racket sport of momentum. We don't know if it's the one serve or whatever it is, but there's more big leads squandered in this game than any of the other racket sport games we played, Patty. Isn't that right?
I think it's unbelievable to watch the momentum swings, but it's what makes paddle so intriguing.
Really is. Good cover.
(40-15).
At 40 love, you can go for that tomahawk overhead way back off your back foot, eh?
But see, that's the problem.
40-30.
I'd like to see Allison sneak in behind some serves now. She's becoming set in her ways.
Deuce.
There's the foot fault.
40 love to deuce, and you go back to the tomahawk overhead. Then a loose error, then a, you know, it just changes all the time so quickly.
Yes, it does.
And that's why, Rod, 40 love is nothing. Finish it.
Well, when you're up 40 love, you have to play mind trickery in that you're down 40 love. You can't start thinking you got a few to waste here. I can get a little more offensive. That's what gets you in trouble in this game, when you start upping your offense instead of sticking to your steady game plan.
Rod, I think that's someone calling for you from Save a Tree to go over your analysis on your lawn.
Well, they do good work.
Morgan burnt. Games are 5-3, second set.
They might be up there working on Jerry Vion's house right now. She is a client of Save a Tree.
I hope they bring her some cough drops, and I hope Jerry gets her voice back. We're missing her here at the Charities. It is devastating for her to miss out on this great weekend of paddle, but we're going to try to do well in her absence for her.
We do hope she feels better. 30 love. 2 loose errors from Berendt with Morgan.
Rod, does this mean we don't have to eat Vegemite sandwiches during this production because Jerry's not here?
We'll get to that Glenview buffet shortly. Great volley from Martina, the chicken wing. Anna never hit the ball in the net. I taught for 30 years. My favorite play when playing paddle, Patty, was no net. Never hit it in the net. Everybody's a tennis player first. They'll flag it even if it's going out. Look at this razzle-dazzle point. What a point.
40-15.
Those big peg overheads create a whole different situation out there. A lot of running around.
Double set point, Rod?
Down to single set point.
40-30.
I love that preparation with her paddle where you can see how far her grip is over, Rod, so she can hit that roll overhead.
Great dig from Allison. Those are some tremendous overheads from Anna and Martina.
See, I like this now. Anna's kind of settling down on her overhead a little bit.
Well, she hasn't missed one in about 4 games. That's the big difference.
She had a rough start, but...
Hello.
That would be her third.
We have a highlight instant replay situation.
Ondrejkova, Zubori, they win the second set, 6 games.
Not only did she hit the around the back in the middle of the point, Patty, but it was set point, kept her in it, and she ends up capitalizing.
Please. Yeah,
we'll be right back with more Paddle to Chicago Charities right after these messages.
When it comes to the game of life, we're all on the same team. And success comes simply from trying. You don't have to be a celebrated athlete to celebrate being active. And you don't have to be on the field to have your own cheering section. United Healthcare.
Welcome back to the 44th Chicago Charities. We're in a round of 16 match between Allison Morgan
All set, ladies.
and Laura Berendt against the number 5 seeds Martina Ondrejkova and Anna Zubori. We have split sets, and this is the first point of the final set. Here we go. Great overhead right off the nick. And Patty, what do you think Berendt and Morgan need to do to right the ship?
I think credit to Zubori and Ondrejkova there in the second set. I think they made a couple of little adjustments, definitely put some more balls in play. And I love when Berendt's in the ad court here. I love Allison's lobs and variety out of the deuce court. And then I love the pressure from Laura when she's in the ad court. And so I think for them to be successful in the third set, I think they've got to get that positioning set.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Zubori, I mean, has a little bit of not as much match experience as Martina. Martina's rock solid here, and I mean, I think that Zubori did a great job there, settled down a little bit in that second set. And I think
I'm with you.
Zubori has to remember she's playing the sport of doubles and not singles paddle right now, and that was kind of an example where she gets a little over-eager, and she doesn't have to help Martina out. Martina is one of the game's top couple of players, has proved it time and time again, and that's what we talk about, the roles, and Zubori needs to be explosive, but she doesn't need to take Martina's shots. Martina has one of the smoothest two-handed backhands out of the middle, and I haven't seen that shot yet today. I'd love to see that. But I'm really surprised Morgan is playing more in the ad court here. I think it's a tactical, I don't know. I just don't think they're as good this way.
Not up.
We'll see here shortly. I think Zubori
15-30
did a great job of tightening her overhead up. She didn't make many overhead errors in that second set. So here we go. 15-30, game 1 of the third and final set. I love Allison's anticipation on the drop volleys. She's very good on that, sniffs them out. And not only can she sniff them out, she gets there and does something with the short ball.
15-40.
They have to get off to a good start, and they have been struggling with Laura's serve since the beginning of the second set. I don't think she's won one since the first set. That's where they got to adjust. .30-40, survived one break point.
40.
Sun's starting to poke its head through, Patty. It might be a little problematic on the east side over there. Far side as we look into the screen. Great drive, Anna.
See, that's an adjustment. She missed a couple of those returns in the first set, so she's definitely got her percentages improving here, Rod.
Well, they put the hammer in the ad court there, or they just found those corners.
Zubori, they win the first game of the third set.
And it is a service break right off the bat. Ondrejkova, Zubori up 1-love.
Mentally, Rod, I feel like right now that Laura Berendt is struggling here. And sometimes when your partner's struggling, you've got to figure out the way to get her more hits, get the ball on her paddle more, because she is phenomenal on the move off of forehand and backhand on her driving. So I think Allison needs to bring her into it here instead of going over there and taking her forehand.
She just poached Laura's forehand, and Morgan and Berendt do not want to go down 2-zip. And a perfect overhead gets the nick up the side.
And that's the strength of Ondrejkova. as the person to the player, the left of the two at the net. She knows how to read the baseline players and move her overheads around based on what her opponents are doing, their positioning.
15 all.
I'd like to see Allison go more into what I would call rope or dope mode and do a lot more lobbing up the line and just try to create looks for Laura. Let her be the hammer, resist the urge to drive more out of that deuce court and get into some longer points, Patty Hogan style. There's a good blitz, but netted the volley.
30-15.
I'd actually like to see Allison start the point with more pressure with her drive to kind of feed Laura some really easy balls off the deck. Once they go into a lobbing mode and it's short, they're attacking Laura in that corner, and that's a little bit of a struggle. Or that's where Martina
There's a good one.
Anna have had success.
Allison's
great
good
pressure.
off the return of serves. She's got great returns off the deck, and as you saw there, off the screen. She can bring some noise with it.
But I think that's going to take the pressure a little bit off of Berendt offensively, and will give her so many nice setups.
Well, there it is. Like I said, if she can get the lobs up and deep,
and Morgan,
going to create more offensive looks for Laura, and it's just a slight adjustment. Once you hit your return, if you don't make progress here, throw it up, try to set Laura up.
So we're at 1-all, Rod. Third set in our first match, round of 16 from the Chicago Charities.
And a loose air. Look at the footwork of Anna Zubori. She's done a little soccer in her day. She picks that ball up a lot like Rafa Nadal. He does the same stuff when he practices. All footwork. He picks all the balls up with his feet.
All.
And passes them with his feet.
So really some struggles for the Morgan Berendt team on serving.
They have not been able to get into a good rhythm, but they've just decided to stay back. I'd still like to see Allison sneak attack in there sometimes because they know now she's not coming in there. Slow rolling the return, you can sneak in there and stuff it back at them quickly in that scenario.
And you see on that play, Zubori went back for a deep overhead,
30.
Rod. Let the ball drop, pushed the ball, got a little height under it, pushed the ball deep, didn't try to hit a winner on an overhead. That's gigantic for, you know, their future success.
Exactly, because when she starts trying to sizzle it up, she misses more.
And all of a sudden, Allison's kind of forcing the play where she doesn't need to that much. If it's a deep ball, she's a wonderful screen player. You know, some players are more effective off the screen, some off the deck.
They lead the third
Berendt,
set,
awesome off the deck. Morgan, just as effective off the screens, I think.
I'm with you.
So, Rod, we have an incredible matchup. At some point, we might see on a live stream, Cruz Rendezno against Cruz Nicolescu.
Whoa.
That may be a live streaming dream matchup. That's a quarterfinal match scheduled for little, you know, maybe 2:30 today, 3 o'clock.
Well, we got a break. Martina Ondrejkova serving to try to get to 3-1 final set.
This is the game for Berendt Morgan right here. I think they have to win it, Rod.
Well, I think it's been all service breaks.
But their level of play is dipping here, and Zubori's and Ondrejkova's is soaring, and they've got to do something to stop it right now.
Absolutely right.
15 all.
And Laura didn't load up on that. Kind of surprised Martina.
Took a little speed off. Maybe that threw her off. A little change up. There's a lucky let cord. Many more let cords in this game than regular tennis, gang, for those out there watching. When you practice, you should try to aim for that net cord sometimes. Really get good at lowering your aim point. Wow. Look at Anna's hands at the net. A great two-hander from Allison. Handcuffed Anna.
15-40.
I think Allison caught Martina way out of position at the net. There was no shift to follow the ball.
Game.
And this is where if I'm
games are 2-all,
Berendt
third
and Morgan,
set.
I'd both play back. There's no advantage to being at that net except you're a target, and obviously with all 4 service breaks in this final set.
1 set apiece, 2 games apiece.
Love 15.
Right now you pretend your match consists, this is the only match you worry about. Focus on the next 6 games or whatever it's going to be. Anything that's happened, who cares? I think whoever can forget the first 2 sets right now will win this match. Because so many paddle matches just come down to kind of moments where either team could take it, and it's really just who has a little bit more discipline and poise in these moments.
Exactly, and that's what makes this so much fun. Right now, we don't know who's going to win this. So we got some good drama, as we called early in the match, that this team of Morgan and Berendt could have been seeded. They don't play or have enough points in the Grand Prix to be seeded, so there's a sleeper. Love 30. Like I said, I'd play both back at this juncture. 3rd set, we've tried a little bit of everything. The team that has been at the net has not been doing as well.
It's kind of what we've seen, the trend in the sport, where the return of serves are so explosive compared to anyone's serves. So it does dominate play pretty often. Wow. That's just a little bit of a loose volley.
15-30.
She hits a tremendous shot. Got the gift. You don't have to do anything with that volley other than land it in the blue.
Hit that reset spot up the middle. Don't want to miss wide. No reason to. Ouch.
Wow.
If you're Laura Berendt.
40.
Yeah, the serving struggles continue here.
Double break point.
That was a great volley from Allison.
I like that choice from Allison. Just put it up. She's driven that ball a few times when they come out of Laura's corner and squirt over to her side.
And this is the difference here. Zubori's handling the overheads from the middle, little off speed.
Just
30,
a vanilla
40.
classic paddle point from Allison. Lob it deep, get them off the net, drive it low.
Use those screens to set yourself up. Sorry.
For sure.
Great combination from Zubori out of that ad court.
Lobbing better from Berendt.
Wow.
And Morgan, and a loose, low percentage shot from Anna. She's got to just throw that up. And again, understanding the team in the back is winning more points now. So whichever team figures it out first, I think, wins this. Teams at the net are getting lit up like a Christmas tree.
Little surprised there. Allison wasn't looking for that. Martina did the exact same return a point ago to her. And that time, Martina had even a better return to serve.
I like the play from Martina, the sage veteran. She goes on over and counsels her partner.
She just told her to hit a winner, Rod.
Game, Ondrejkova,
She said,
Zubori,
take that return,
Lemery,
drive it right at Allison.
3rd set.
Rod, Mark Fischel is very familiar with most of the players out here. He's the biggest fan of the sport, and he's seen Zubori play a ton. And just said she's got all upside. She's got every shot in the book. It's going to be, she's just got to figure out when she doesn't have to force the issue. And you can see it here playing out exactly like that.
Well, when she tightens up her errors, when there's just few errors, look out, because she does have the sizzle, the high power game. And there's that Allison Morgan move. She closes in. Hello.
Wow, and you can see why she's one of the greatest women tennis players out of Serbia with those hands.
Yeah, she just took that two-hander roller right into the body at point-blank range from Laura and hit a winner off it. Another great volley from Martina. Ondrejkova and Zubori are stepping up their volleys. And And that's what happens, and you force them to try to create too much.
30
You can
love.
really feel the mental shift in this match with Ondrejkova, Zubori just soaring mentally and physically now. Berendt struggling on both fronts, I think. Not physically, but the execution just gets, you know, she didn't have to go for that much.
40 love.
And if she could see what we see, where they were, the Red Sea was parting, and she goes for a hard roller trying to stick them versus just through the middle, soft.
Great point.
She would have won that point. Good wall from Anna and Martina. Look at this. That's good stuff with Anna and Laura going toe to toe. A lot of excitement. Good choice and great execution.
It's the first day Martina's played where it's been a little cooler, and that ball surprised her dropping in play.
That's been an effective shot for Laura to hit at Martina.
I mean, that was their
15.
early play that really put Zubori and Ondrejkova kind of on their heels on the baseline.
Well, the taller players, footwork isn't quite as quick. And actually, Anna's been coming all the way over and covering a lot of those for her, which has worked out brilliantly. Good choice, great location from Allison. I like that shot. Right to the chicken wing. Look at this barrage. What a wall that they built.
Ondrejkova, Zubori, they lead 4-2, third set.
They pulled a rabbit out of the hat there, Patty. They were like a duck in a shooting gallery, and they survived.
Zubori just had that ball on her paddle, and Berendt just didn't know which way, couldn't commit to anything. Zubori held it and stuck it on her feet.
They anchored themselves and refused to back up and made those great reflex volleys. 15 love, 4-2, final
15.
set. Round of 16 action, Chicago Charities. We're on eNet Live. And that's where Anna's got to watch.
All.
You know, when you start getting leads, you don't want to amp your offense up just because you have a lead or so. Just get the ball in play, rule number 1. Keep the ball in play, rule number 2, and see what happens. But
and Rod, rule number 3, when the serving team is struggling to put the ball in the box, never miss a return. Don't let them off the hook.
Well said, Patty.
You do feel like they're challenging each other here in this match, Zubori and
30-15.
Berendt.
Well, they're having fun. They like the action. They like the high power offense. There we go. That's what you were talking about. You know, there's no reason to go for supersized.
Nope. She had one player back, and Berendt was dropping right off, so she just put the ball in play. Well, it's clear that Zubori wants to be the overhead person, hit many more of the shots. And Martina's a pretty solid volley, so I do like that setup for them as a team.
Tremendous. As we see in this point here, where Anna came all the way over, and a ball directly lobbed over Martina's head, covered it, and then Martina returned the favor with the volley coverage at the net. I call that, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'll cover that overhead up the line if you cover the volley. Look at that drive.
I mean, Zubori has the calm demeanor that, you know, Martina's got, but with far less match experience.
30 all.
30 all. 2-4. Allison Morgan serving.
A live formation. Just make Martina look at something a little different. Really surprised Martina tried to hit that ball cross court.
Me too.
I thought she's hit a couple of great up the line drives. It was there. I think she should have taken it there.
I'd like to see Laura work on volleying closer to the net. I think she could be effective up there and stuffing the volleys back at the striker.
She loves playing forehand and backhand swinging volleys, and oftentimes those types of volleyers have to play back to create time for those back swings. It's the advantage of committing to the backhand. You can play closer.
Well, they had a hold opportunity. Laura overhit a backhand, back to deuce.
Advantage, Ms. Zubori.
There's the straight ahead boring drive from Martina. She's mastered that shot. Loose error from Allison there.
Almost her third successful around the back volley.
And not a right time to show us that she's got that shot. She could have just hit the most routine of backhand volleys, and she's got to do that more.
Well, she's got to anchor herself. She starts trying to guess, and she's on the move versus being still when the ball's hit. That's why she gets handcuffed and goes with her around the back. Good high lobs, sneaky offense off the screen. You know what's going to come from Laura. She's starting to make errors. Maybe a little tired, Patty.
Advantage, Ms. Zubori.
They're just struggling mentally as a team here, I think, with a game plan. I just don't see that enough of their shots have purpose out here and working together. Great shot from Allison Morgan.
Hit the line.
Deuce.
Couldn't have come at a better time.
Morgan serving, Ondrejkova returning serve. We're APTA, Chicago Charities, round of 16s.
Great lob from Martina. And again, Laura should have taken that overhead. And Allison could have stayed anchored at the net. Both of them off the net. And then Martina capitalizes.
Wow.
Game.
What a return.
Zubori, they lead 5-2, third set.
So we talk about momentum shifts, Ron. It's all one-sided here.
Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection products and people for an unforgettable customer experience. All right, here we are, Patty. They're on the brink. Berendt and Morgan down 2-5 in the third set. They're going to have to put their rally caps on. Try to break the hearts. What a serve. Martina put some extra giddy up on that one.
All.
She did, and that's really proved to be the most effective serve against Berendt in that ad corner. That ball up the tee, pull her out, and Berendt hasn't really adjusted her return of serve. Keep her percentages up on that serve.
She needs to let that go to the screen, and then she can hit it as hard as she wants on the drive off the wire. That's for sure. Just like that. Let it go to the screen. It takes 50% of the speed off the ball 15, out there, gang.
30.
That's why you have those screens there. They are your friends. You use them. If ball gets hit hard, let it go, and then it's an easier drive. Good lob right there. And a great overhead off the nick, and perfect by Laura Berendt on the blitz.
15-40.
15-40. Trying to creep their way back into this third and final set. They're down 2-5. And there it is. Okay, little momentum.
Morgan.
But here's where they have struggled since the first set. Laura holding serve. And if I was coaching them, I'd pull Allison back, and I'd just let them have it. And let's not even mess with any of this firepower. Because really the net player is a target up there, Patty, against the better offensive teams.
And again, Ondrejkova hit a super solid return of serve up the line, higher part of the net, but off speed.
15 love.
Some people like to go at the net player standing there. Others are kind of, you know, just want to avoid it.
Well, again, especially with Anna Zubori, who's got one of the best forehands in the game today. Although that one wasn't one of her finer moments, but she's been hitting it very consistently well. 30 love. Laura looking to hold.
And that was significant right there. She had to put that return in play. Don't bring Berendt and Morgan back into this match.
Great serve. Neutralized Martinez, big forehand. Captain Allison at the overhead. She got to do a little more with that overhead. She can't just lay it on Zubori's forehand.
Agreed, but right here, a little pressing from Zubori out of that ad-court rod.
She's back deep into the green driving. Remember, the cardinal rule of paddle is you lob in the green, drive in the blue or purple, whatever color we got there. Great return.
40-15.
A controlled forehand drive there, though. She didn't unleash the full fury, but a very well-struck ball. Love her footwork over there. Look at Anna bouncing. Like to see it.
Great combination of shots from the baseline team right there.
Nice
starting with
back.
Turn to serve that dipped, forcing the play up.
Yep.
Taking control of the net.
Good defense. Good transition from front court to back court. Laura's got to get those lobs deeper. These are too short, and it's just a slow kill unless you can get that thing back there.
40-30.
40-30. Huge point. Huge point. Laura needs this to get to 4-5 in the third. There it is.
Game, burnt Morgan.
Huge hold because that hasn't happened very often.
First hold in how many games as a serving team? I mean, this is a treat, Rod, and for all you paddle fans out there, we have a great match to follow this match. Susan Lemery and Kelly Rohrbach, another local outstanding team against Liz Jaffe and Mirta Molenveld.
Wow. That will be a barn burner.
But this is turning into a great finish here.
Well, here we go. Once again, the return of serving team has won, I think, 80-90% of the games in this third and final set, Patty, and that's exactly what Allison and Laura are trying to do to get 2 extra innings.
And they were, Berendt and Morgan were dead in the water about 12 minutes ago.
Exactly.
And it looked like this match was over. All of a sudden, you know, some insignificant errors at the time now proving to be confidence boosters for Berendt and Morgan.
Well, the great players and teams, when they get backed into a corner, they play better. You know, they're not going down easily. They're not going to give it away. You're going to have to earn it. I think that's what we're seeing right here. Good, smart overheads from Martina.
Outstanding drop, great hands. Great get from Berendt to get that shot.
Anna's got every shot in the book. She's just got to keep tightening up the game. I think the more years of experience she gets, a national championship could be in her order. We're at 15 all. Now this is where Allison and Laura got to choose real wisely. I don't like that. A whirly bird spin. You know, you're off balance, you're not in position, and you're trying to drive it, and they're anchored at the net.
I don't mind it on a Tuesday, Rod, not on a Friday or Saturday in a tournament.
And I don't like it at 4-5 in the third set. Now it is 30 all now. This is where you got to be ultra selective if you're Allison and Laura.
30 all, 5-4, third set.
Good blitzed. Didn't make the volley.
40,
We're at
30.
match point.
Game, set, match. Ondrejkova, Zubori, 5-7, 6-3, 6-4.
Well, Patty, we had a great match. We thought it was going to be a tight one with the team of Berendt and Morgan, and we were right. They played their hearts out, played a great match. Final thoughts?
Martina, sorry,
I think we're going to go to a break, Rod, and then I think we'll come back with final thoughts.
Oh, easy.
Super.
We do it well. We do it real well.
Once a customer gets used to that, why would you want to leave? We treat you well.
Welcome back to the 44th Chicago Charities. I'm Rodney Workman, along with four-time national champion and Hall of Famer Patty Hogan. We just called a great three-set round of 16 match. Patty, your final thoughts?
Momentum, Rod. It's incredible when you have it. It's a great thing. I think as we go deeper into the draw, you'll see that the teams that prevail always a team that have a little bit more composure throughout the match. And I think Martina was the person in that match from the beginning to the last point who stayed even keel. All the other players, you could see some swings up and down.
For sure.
And I just think her calmness and coolness out there, along with her expertise, maybe could have been the difference anyone's match. Rod.
Well, and they are moving into the quarterfinals against Hanisch and von Starrenberg, the 3 seeds. So we got the 3 seeds and the 5 seeds. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back here live on eNet Live shortly.
Hello from the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois, and welcome to Day 1 of the APTA Network's coverage of the 44th Annual Chicago Charities, the second Grand Prix event of the 2017-2018 season, brought to you by the APTA's national sponsors Viking, Save-A-Tree, and Uline, and of course, eNet Live, our live stream production partner. I'm Lauren Mandel, along with Rod Workman, bringing you the women's quarterfinals between the number 6 seeds, Liz Jaffe and Mirta Molenveld, and the number 4 seeds, Suzanne Lemery and Kelly Rohrbach. Rod, do you want to tell us a little bit about what we're going to see today?
I sure would. Well, we're starting with the number 6 seeds of Jaffe and Molenveld. We've got Liz, who's out of Port Washington, New York. She's a director of racket sports at the Village Club of Sands Points in New York. And Mirta Molenveld is a rackets professional at the Field Club in Greenwich as well. So we have an East Coast team coming into Chicago playing the 4 seeds, one of the top teams in the Chicagoland area, of Suzanne Lemery and Kelly Rohrbach. Suzanne is the director of paddle to Hinsdale Golf Club, Hinsdale, Illinois, and her partner Kelly is the assistant paddle tennis professional at the Winter Club in Lake Forest, Illinois. Kelly, actually, I had the pleasure of hiring her years ago and starting her off in the game of paddle, and she adapted quickly, having played college tennis at UCLA, and actually her father was a backup catcher for the Chicago Cubs. And Suzanne Lemery, great player, tennis player. Her husband Matt and her are top pros in the Chicagoland area. She's done nothing but get better. You know a little more about Liz and Mirta. Lauren, what do you think?
Yeah, Liz and Mirta played for the first time at the PNC Steel City Open a few weeks ago, and they had a great showing. They lost in the quarterfinals, and you see through the draw, they've moved easily so far through the draw today.
Mm-hmm.
Lemery Rohrbach also have had a relatively easy time, but I look for some really good paddle in this match. These are all 4 smart paddle players. Mirta has the least experience and the most firepower.
Well, I had the pleasure of calling Liz's national championship match in Huntington Valley, New York, about 4 years ago.
Platform Tennis Charities. This is an APTA Grand Prix event.
The umpire today will be Gene Kempner.
This is a quarterfinal match. On my left in the deuce court is Mirta Molenveld, and her partner in the ad court is Liz Jaffe. On my right, serving in the deuce court is Suzanne Lemery, and her partner on the ad side is Kelly Rohrbach.
The umpire is there to the players will make their own calls, Rod, but the umpire will be there if there's any questions. And now, Suzanne Lemery to serve.
Mirta on a great drive right up the middle. Up the middle, solves the paddle riddle, Lauren.
Lemery in the white cap.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a great battle of wits and wills out here. And there's going to be some long points. They're going to be very conservative, picking the right balls to pull the trigger on.
This is going to be a much different match for those of you who just watched the previous match between Ondrejkova, Zubori, and Berendt Morgan. This is going to be less of a slugfest and more of a chess match.
Well said. We got a beautiful day out here. The sun has just come through. Virtually no wind. And again, they're abiding pretty true to the cardinal rule of paddle. You lob in the green, you drive in the blue. Be patient. We're going to see a lot of that here today.
Yeah, you'll see in the ad court, Jaffe doesn't have a ton of power, but she mixes up the shots well, she lobs well, and she chips the ball well.
She's sneaky. And again, a finalist in the national championships a number of years back, in the last 4 or 5 years. All 4 players are teaching pros. And again, we talked earlier today about how that actually gives them a little advantage. They're hitting balls all week. They're getting in stroke, have good rhythm. 15-30.
We just got an update on the only unfinished round of 16 match. It's a tough Chicago duel between Bodman and Hayward and McNitt and Nuslock. and that's just started the third set.
Really? I thought that one was going to be interesting.
It's a rematch of the Lake Forest finals last week, or 2 weeks ago.
Lemery and Rohrbach battling back from a love 30 deficit to go up 40-30. Chance to hold here. First game opening set. The 44th Chicago Charities, our biggest paddle tournament in Chicago.
I love watching Suzanne Lemery hit first volleys, and really all of her volleys. She gets in and she squares her forehand volley up, and she may not be tall, but she's incredibly solid at the net.
1-0.
Great hands, great tenacity. Her and Kelly get a little bit better every year. Mirta caught the net on the drive, giving Lemery and Rohrbach game one. It's been fun watching Kelly develop as a player. You know, it's always fun taking the tennis players and molding them into a good paddle player. She was by the book right from the get-go, easy study of the game. Pleasure to watch play. She plays with good heart and enthusiasm. And
Mirta Molenveld to serve.
15 love.
She's all in black. Her partner kind of is too.
They're using hand signals for those out there watching. Those hand signals, it's like a pitcher and a catcher, so the left hand knows what the right hand's doing. You'll see a lot of that from Liz. She'll set that middle reset target over and over. There it is again.
And Molenveld doesn't have a big serve with a lot of spin, so they like to switch up the look at the net, so you don't just become a target.
Mm-hmm. Kelly is a solid vanilla player. You know, she can just put the hammer down on that forehand. And she's, like I said, her father was a professional catcher for the Chicago Cubs, so she locates her pitches with those drives, as we just saw there on the right hip.
Yeah, and like you said, Liz is going to play by the book paddle all day. She's going to hit soft overheads down the middle. She's going to hit into the screen on the backhand side. She's going to volley straight ahead of her.
Yeah, she's high percentage too. She's going to not beat herself. She's going to hope that the opponents will do it for her. Just out, a great low ball at the shoe tops. Had to half volley it.
15-30.
If Kelly gets that forehand going, look out. And Suzanne is just a great, steady, solid player. Drives the ball she's supposed to. Look at that sneaky little blitz. If she's going to blitz, Kelly's got to put a little more giddy up on that ball.
I think Suzanne expected a lower return. She got left hanging there.
Nothing worse than blitzing, knowing that it's not going to end well.
That ended much better for Lemery Rohrbach.
40-40.
Better return, and Rohrbach was able to come in and put the volley away.
So, Lauren, you know Mirta. Where's she from originally?
She's from the Netherlands.
Is she? Awesome.
She played at Auburn, I believe.
She's a Tiger.
Scores deuce.
Seeing more and more of those good Division I college tennis players jumping into our game only makes it better. And then a perfect situation for her, playing with Liz Jaffe, a seasoned, savvy veteran.
Good first volley from Mirta. She did what you have to do when someone's blitzing. You have to ignore them coming at you.
Easier said than done.
Much.
Ouch.
Deuce.
Back to deuce. They need to get on the board here. I think the longest deuce ad game I was involved in had 21 deuces. And actually it was against the man up in the chair. What a shot.
Advantage Molenveld.
That was
drop
quite a
shot
volley.
a blitzer. It's not easy to do. Kelly was blitzing.
Yeah.
And
she hit around her, and it worked.
Did. Add in. There's a good low return. Great volley by Mirta. always used to teach my students how to spell paddle is P-A-T-I-E-N-C-E. And this match will embody that. Just a good old school paddle match. That last match was Zubori. You got that new school, you know, a lot of sizzle, razzle, dazzle. This will be by the book. Conditioning will play the key. You definitely see the ham and egg of the drive and the blitz from Kelly and Suzanne.
Right, that's going to be a big play in this match. See how successful Kelly and Lemery and Rohrbach are going to be with the blitz. They've tried it a lot so far. So far, I think they're about 50-50. And we'll see if they can figure out a way to get the percentage higher.
Exactly. There it is. Good. Great volley from Mirta. Kelly's screens are solid. You're not going to get much out of that corner.
Yeah, all four of these players are solid in the screens.
There won't be many missed overheads in this match. Suzanne gets that. Okay, you live with that peg overhead, you die with it. You know, if you don't hit them.
If you don't hit them, you better start running backwards.
Exactly.
Which she tried to do, but she got caught.
And Suzanne plays a lot with the guys, her husband and such, so she sees that stuff and she's able to respond. And the girls are using it more and more now as well. Now right there, great serve from Mirta, but Liz has got to shuffle over and do what is called planking. You know, you move to the board that the ball lands on the serve. I learned that from Scott Mansager, did a couple clinics with him years ago. I love that. You have to adjust with the serve. She didn't. What happened? She's lunging in a loose error. 2-love. Rohrbach Lemery. Set 1. Chicken wing. Look at this.
Lemery is very good at diffusing the other team's power.
She absorbs those volleys really well. Like I said, she plays a lot with her husband. And Kelly shows her intensity. She hates to miss with a passion, which is what you got to have in this paddle world. There they switched. I was wondering if they're going to put the taller player. Look at that hammer. Bravo.
Lemery liked that.
She's got that semi-western grip, a heavy topspin roll right in her wheelhouse. She'll hit that hard every time.
Yep.
She'll bat a high percentage on that. There's that volley you were talking about. Captain Kelly on the overheads, 2 righties. Oh, great length on the volley.
30-15.
You really see so far in this match how important these volleys are. I mean, it's so far in this match, it's the drives are completely irrelevant. It's all about the volleys.
Correct, 30-15.
Well said. What a serve.
Serve right on the line.
40-15.
Big kicker. They huddled up, made their call. Let's see if Suzanne adjusts. I like that player adjusting after the serve, and there it is, a hold.
Game Lemery Rohrbach. They lead 3-0.
I think Molenveld's a little frustrated. I don't think she's played these players before, and I think she just tried to push the action a little there. I don't think that was a play for a blitz. But you know what? She and Jaffe will talk, and they'll regroup, and they'll figure out what to do here.
Yes, they will.
Liz Jaffe to serve.
Her first shot at the serve. Good kicker out wide. Again, when you're lunging in this game, you're always better served to throw up a lob. You only want to drive if you're inside the baseline, waist-high ball, and balanced. If you're lunging, I mean, there's players that can do it. You're going to see a lot of these players doing it because they're the best players in the world. But still, you'll get a better chance down the road. There it is. Oh, what a shot by Mirta. It's hard to hit that chicken winger with two hands, but she pulled it off. Good soft hands from Kelly.
See Jaffe continuously slowing things down with her overhead and her volleys.
I think Kelly would have loved to drive that one ball that Suzanne jumped in there off. Now again, Suzanne lobs extremely well. She gets that perfect low setup and then lifts the ball so it ends up with topspin on it, and so you can get them higher and deeper with that stroke. See, I think Kelly's telling her right now that she wants that middle ball when you lob it deep and they try to hit her reset button. It's 30 love. I love Suzanne's forehand.
And it dips when you're at the net. It's tricky to volley because it really dips.
It's that Western grip. She turns the doorknob on it. She takes that contact and turns the hand. Great shot by Mirta. Mirta's got some nice firepower, like you said, Lauren. She's got the roller with a lot of sizzle on it. See, this is the ball that Kelly wants. She made it clear.
Again, Jaffe with a very deliberate overhead.
40 love. Kelly's first missed wire, but it was glued to the side screen, perfectly placed by Liz. Liz is the ultimate competitor. She fights hard on every point.
She also places her serve well.
So important not to let a returner get grooved. You got to not be predictable on that service location.
40-15.
Kelly will keep the pressure on with the drives. Same with Suzanne. Sneaky. Good lob. Liz behind the service line. Little trench warfare, Lauren.
Jaffe Molenveld did not back down there. They stood up to the Rohrbach forehand.
They sure did. Good wall builders over there. Mirta and Liz with their backs to us. See, Kelly's a smart shot. She takes the obvious, and for some reason, Liz got caught trying to fight a forehand volley there.
Unusual for her. I think she really got confused with Rohrbach moving over, and her shift got all screwed up.
That's
and she
exactly
ended up
right. But that just goes to show, as soon as you flip to that forehand, it's just hard to square the paddle up. If you keep it on the backhand all the way across, you can cover 98% of the shots there. Trying to hold. Uh-oh, back to deuce. Kelly hits a heavy ball, too. It's sneaky fast.
It's flat, but it's heavy.
It gets in on you, and it's a little harder than you think. There's the double trouble, a good low return, and a partner blitzing. You're getting two forms of pressure, hence the double trouble.
And here we are, what often seems to happen in paddle, from 40 love to add out.
Not nearly as much as tennis. Never doesn't happen, hardly at all. And I'm still trying to figure out why.
Well, some of it is only the only one serve. You can quickly lose a couple points just if you miss a serve, but that was not the case this game.
Good deep lob from Suzanne. Another deep one. Getting her right foot went behind the service line. Deep lobs will set up the offense.
There it was.
And my favorite Broadway play when I was teaching, Lauren, was No No Nanette. All my ladies had to learn that. I never hit it in the net.
We just heard that Liz Cruz and Gabby Nicolescu are up 2-1 over Liz's sister,
Uh-oh.
Miriam,
Sister act.
and Marcella Rodesno.
There's the double trouble again. Kelly's blitz, I think, forced Liz's error off a medium return. Back to the well. What a drive.
Well, it was an interesting gymnastics move by Suzanne Lemery.
Went down on her knees, which we don't subscribe to. These paddle courts are extremely abrasive. You don't want to fall out here, gang. I've seen some horrific injuries.
Back to deuce. Another mistake.
I'd like to see her increase her footwork intensity about 15–20%. I don't think that'll happen. The only problem with teaching pros playing paddle is the footwork. You get the teaching pro feet a little bit at times. It just happens naturally.
Yeah. You don't want that when you're playing a match. You want your feet. Little steps.
Little baby steps, happy feet, all the above. This would be a huge point for Mirta and Liz. After having been up 40-love, surviving a break point. Kelly pulled a rabbit out of the hat there. There we go. That's what I love about Kelly. She'll launch those things up there. She knows the value of that. That will result in drivable forehands. Like that. Oh, that was a backhand. Mirta's got great skills for being relatively new to the game, and she's using good touch on the overheads. Higher than the lights, gang. Kelly embodies that on a lot of her lobs. More so on her backhand. Best offense is a good defense.
And you know, Lemery looks like she's in trouble, but she loves anything hard into those screens. That was an offensive shot for her. So we just found out that the last quarterfinalist, there's an upset. Number 7 seeds Bodman Hayward go down to McNitt and Nuslock.
Congratulations to Chelsea and Jane. Condolences to Liz and Hallie. Great lobbing from Liz, creating a little confusion, and Mirta got the ball she wanted to hit. She needs to go see my favorite play.
Jaffe encourages to hit those balls. She knows that the firepower on her side of the net is coming from Molenveld, and she doesn't want her to lose her confidence in hitting the ball.
Well, she knows her role, which is to set up Mirta, let Mirta be the hammer. Liz has some sneaky, timely offense, especially off the screens. She played a great match in that national championship against Zink and Pendergast. Wow, they did come back and steal that one after being down 40-love, Lauren.
And a few ads besides 40-love. I think that Jaffe Molenveld had about 6 game points.
I think that is correct, and that is important for them to have one thing, which is a short memory moving forward. You got to let her go and just say, hey, we can compete with this team.
They
we
will.
Just got to win the big points.
They will.
I'm never a fan of that shot.
15.
Right, even if you make it, the other team is on top of the net, and you're falling backwards behind the baseline.
Off balance, blind, back to the net. Look, you know, again, a great technical thing from Suzanne is how low she gets on the volley. She's short to begin with, but she gets down literally to eye level of the ball.
She sometimes has her knee on the court.
Yeah. I mean, and you can see it better down there. Good hands. Look at Liz. There's that sneaky offense we were talking about. Now, Right there, Suzanne's got to cut that off. That's her ball all day. If they go up the line, Kelly's already got a 3-step head start to that ball off the screen. Love 30.
15-30.
Suzanne locates her serve too well, Lauren. That's the other thing. She's able to hit her spots.
She has some nice spin on her serve too.
So for those out there, those who have good spin on it, it's better when it's pressure packed too. If you're pushing your serves in, you tend to choke more. Nice shot, Kelly. Hard overhead. There's another pretty good lead squandered.
Yeah, I mean these games are close, but Jaffe Molenveld just have to win a game here and stop the bleeding.
Exactly. Great shot, little off-speed roller
30,
from
40.
Mirta. Break point. Good huddle up from Kelly and Suzanne. Oh my gosh.
Molenveld almost took a bad dive there. I think her foot, sometimes your foot catches. That was a little scary.
Yeah, like I said, that's the one thing you don't want to do is fall on a paddle court. And one of my old pros, Chris Struck, who's playing in the tournament this weekend, lost about 3 levels of skin one day.
Advantage Lemery.
Here's another game that Jaffe and Molenveld had to add point or two and might end up with nothing to show for it.
That's Jaffe's favorite return, that forehand chip wide. Lemery's quick though, that's not going to bother her.
Loose overhead from Kelly, hit a hard one right off the back screen, and you know what you're going to get there. I mean, you either get your nose right on the net or head for the hills. Hit the eject button and go back to the baseline. You don't want to be a target at the net in those situations where you know they're going to drive it. Well,
advantage Lemery.
Anything over Suzanne's head is out. She doesn't even have to duck much. I mean, and she knows it's going out of there, and she didn't even flinch. She's got great radar.
Yes. Very good feel for all parts of the game. Oh.
Deuce.
Little let cord never hurt anyone trying to get back into a match.
The great players get them.
Yep.
They aim low. Another long game,
advantage
Lauren.
Lemery.
Kelly might go Australian on this one. She likes to mix it up. If they haven't got it on one way, give them a different look, go to a different way.
And there we are, in the eye.
Now she likes her chances. She's into the point. Kelly feels she's going to win this.
Better backhand for Molenveld. She was set up.
Deuce.
Great blitz from Liz. Just kept squeezing the court, kept getting closer and closer, and stuffed it in on the chicken wing volley of Suzanne. The chicken wing volley, for those out there watching, that's to the right hip of the right-hander. What a drive by Mirta. But again, savvy veteran Suzanne is. Just let it go through, no panic. Wait for that ball.
Advantage Jaffe.
No, not that day.
But sometimes Suzanne, with that Western grip, she gets a little spinny and will drag a few down into the net.
Oh,
wow! There it was.
It can't get any juicier and better than that. For years, I would teach: do nothing on that volley. Don't try to hit it. Just hold it still and just make it. There's something about having a net player up there that they try to force. Great reset volley from Suzanne. Hello.
Advantage Jaffe.
I think Molenveld and Jaffe, not that that happened in that point, but they're onto something with the blitz because they have to find some way to take Lemery and Rohrbach out of their comfort zone. They're just playing exactly the way they want to play.
Exactly. Again, there's the blitz. Good call.
Thank you.
Timely
Game
call, Lauren.
Jaffe, Molenveld. Lemery, Rohrbach lead 4-1, first set.
Getting on the board finally.
Yeah, they've certainly had a few chances. Let's see if they can build on that.
I don't have the exact stats, but I bet you that might be their 10th plus chance to hold or get on the board. And they finally converted.
I would say they had 6 in that game where they were up 40-love. They had a bunch of, I would say upwards of 10. Yeah.
It's
a lot of points to win one game.
But the silver lining for them is that, hey, we can do this. We can win. We're competing. We just haven't done well in the big points. A lot of matches just gets down to big points and playing them better.
Molenveld and Jaffe are learning from all these points, games that they're not winning. They're figuring out how to play this match, and they're not going to go away.
Jaffe and Molenveld with their backs to us. Rohrbach in the black on the far side. Lemery in the deuce court, white hat.
Rohrbach and Lemery are hitting good deep lobs. Well, until that one, they're pulling Jaffe and Molenveld out of the service box so they can't do anything offensive with their overheads.
Well, the last 2 lobs that Lemery's hit, both feet have been behind the service line. Liz and Mirta. I love the way Kelly stuck her nose in there. Thought it might hit a nick. Help Suzanne out. Good play. Keep it coming to the player off the net.
15 all.
Jaffe's got to close in a little there. She left a lot of room for that drive.
And again, you got to do the exact opposite of what you're thinking. She hit the first volley, didn't hit as well, but she still should have closed in and show strength to the opponent. I find players, once they're post 40, don't do that as well. Myself included. And then when you get post 50, then you might even back up a step or two. Why do you lob out there, gang? So you can drive.
Perfect lob.
That court.
30-15.
Molenveld's really kind of locating her backhand now, figuring out the pace and how high over the net she wants to hit it. She's hit quite a few good ones now after having trouble at the beginning.
There's that volley they all miss.
40-15.
They finally get it, and they're inside the service line, closing. There's 2 at the net on the other side, and they miss. (40-15). Be good for Mirta's confidence to hold here, having been broken in the first time.
We'll also put them right back in this first set.
Good sneaky ball from Liz, and Kelly commits that backhand volley. Look at that cross. Where'd she come from? Shot out of the cannon.
She's very sneaky, Lemery.
Lurking. Now what do Jaffe and Mirta have to do next time? They got to hit behind her right away. Anytime somebody poaches on you out there, come right back with up their alley. Kelly loves that two-hander. Good lob. Mirta and Liz calling out every overhead. You hear them. Mine, yours. Look at that great touch on the overhead.
I think she took her eye off the ball there.
Score is deuce.
Well, there's that full Western grip. The players shank balls more than our old traditional Eastern continental grip forehands. That's what happened. She was going to roll the heck out of that thing. Great return, great blitz.
Advantage Rohrbach.
And this has been the story of the first set, Lauren, is just them having leads, them being Liz and Mirta, and not being able to finish. So
deuce.
Here we go again, another one of these games. Long.
This was the service game they lost with Mirta serving at the beginning when they had some game points.
When they had a 6?
She doesn't want to lose another long service game.
Advantage Rohrbach.
And that's just
both of them had long. Jaffe was up 40-love, and Molenveld, they had a bunch of game points, so they have had 2 service games that they lost that they probably should have won. Let's see if they can pull this one out. Advantage Lemery Rohrbach.
Look at Kelly. Look how high she threw that ball up, giving Suzanne plenty time to get back. It'll be interesting to see if Suzanne and Kelly switch back. They're out of their respective corners.
There they go.
Now they're back where they are most comfy. Good. And a loose overhead from Mirta. 5-1, Lemery Rohrbach, first set.
Game, Lemery Rohrbach. They lead 5-1, first set.
Good to see Gene Kempner back in his motherland, who moved out to Vegas years ago and comes back and plays. He's playing in the 110s with Jim McNitt. They won some 90 national championships together. Now they're going after the 115s. Soon they'll be into the 175s.
In another women's quarterfinal match in the Battle of the Cruz sisters, Liz and Nicolescu won the first set, and Miriam Cruz and Rodesno won the first game of the second set.
Love 15.
Trying to get bragging routes in the house there.
In the family. They don't live in the same house, but in the family.
Well, maybe Thanksgiving. Maybe Thanksgiving. Interesting Thanksgiving dinner talk, Lauren.
15 all.
Mirta, a little miss-hit winner there. She's smiling.
15-30.
She took a full swing, hit it on the outer edge of the paddle, and hit a winner. Not easy to do. Look how Kelly bends her knees on those low volleys. That is a very successful shot for Kelly. That harder ball right at Liz. It's hard to get out of the way of those things coming at you. Great volley, neutralized the blitzer. There it is again. Good rip from Liz off the screen. Kelly, beautifully done.
They're moving the lobs around to pull Molenveld and Jaffe out of position.
Look at the height. I love watching lobbers who are really thinking about their lobs, trying to move it around, create some spots. What a shot.
Wow.
Wow. That's a replay point at some point.
40-30.
One for the memory bank.
Good attempt by Molenveld to run that down, but she just didn't quite get it. But that was an excellent play.
We're at set point, Lauren. First set of the 44th Chicago Charities. Quarterfinal action. And there it is.
There it is.
Game
Point
in
in
first set. Lemery Rohrbach, 6-1.
We will be back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network presented by eNet Live.
You have to have a passion for taking care of the customer, and you have to do your job as if your last name was Uline.
For my business, everything's go, 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 and the customer service alone is one of the most valuable things for us. We can call and the phone's picked up immediately. We never have to wait in a queue.
The phones don't ring at least half the time because they go directly into the headsets of our customer service representatives because they know we're waiting for it, and it can be a very fast transaction for them.
Order placed by 6 o'clock p.m., order ships out, customer gets that product more often than not in one business day.
Not only are those orders going out the door quickly, but accurately.
We live and breathe reliability.
But we really do care of a product's returned. We do care if it's not working right. We try to do it better every day.
Every single person looks at customer comments. I mean, that's where we learn.
Come to Uline because service has always been much, much better here. I always feel like you're treated like you're appreciated, you know.
We do it well. We do it real well.
Once a customer gets used to that, why would you want to leave? We treat you well.
Here we are back at the women's quarterfinal match at the Chicago Charities between Liz Jaffe, Mirta Molenveld, and Suzanne Lemery and Kelly Rohrbach. Lemery and Rohrbach won the first set 6-1, and Liz Jaffe is serving.
Well, Lauren, I think that it was one of those sets which was a lot closer than the score indicated.
I mean, that's such a cliche, but it's really true. I mean, I bet if someone was counting the total number of points won in that set, it was even.
I think you are spot on that, and especially a number of holder break points lost. Kelly with a loose overhead, trying to take that overhead off the bounce and put a little extra sizzle on it. Overhit it. Mirta and Liz have to be fairly happy with that first set. Even though they lost 6-1, they got to believe still that they can do this. Great volley from Liz Jaffe, finalist in the 2012 Nationals, I believe.
I don't think they'll be happy because I think they feel like they should win this match, but they'll know that they're right in it.
Yeah.
And we've just heard on the other court that in the Cruz match, after Liz Cruz and Nicolescu won the first set, now Miriam Cruz and Rodezno are up 4-1 in the second, so we may be going 3 there. We'll try to bring you some of that match too.
Awesome. The Chicago Charities tournament historically has been the second biggest tournament in the country behind the Nationals. It's always been up there in prestige. So all these teams would like nothing better than to go home with this title. Look at that trench warfare, Lauren. Gotta run. Great lob. Now look at that lob. Yep, I think she saved her. I love Mirta called her off that. Liz couldn't help herself. Sometimes you're caught up in the moment. You got to hit it. They're going to get down on that low.
She got way down there. It was a good dig by Rohrbach.
Only way to do it. And they prevailed.
15 all.
And losing those long points, Lauren, that can take its toll on the opponents. You know, if you lose long points after putting out a heck of an effort, that had to be a 30-shot rally, had opportunities, and definitely losing those long games takes the wind out of the sails. So they really got to batten down the hatches here and get mentally tough.
30-15.
$30-15. Very important for Molenveld and Jaffe to get on the board first and hold here. Great lobs, really pushing back Molenveld and Jaffe. That's a little too deep.
40-15.
All right, here we are. More game points on the serve for Jaffe Molenveld.
I think we're going to have a barn burner second set, Lauren. That's my prediction.
I do too. This is by no means should be a 6-1, 6-1 kind of match.
Exactly.
That's correct.
There it is.
Game. Jaffe Molenveld. They lead 1-0.
First lead of the match for Jaffe Molenveld.
Let's see how they do as front
won the
runners.
first set.
You know, sometimes when you win a set easily, the score is easy, like 6-1 or 6-0, but it's been a competitive set, and the team you're playing is, you know, a good team. It's very hard to keep that level up and keep winning game after game after game.
For sure. And the teams that have, you know, dug themselves a holes and haven't been able to capitalize, they tend to right the ship. Competitive players, quarterfinals of a major tournament here. And that's what's going on here. Let's see if Suzanne can hold. Kelly's got good overheads. She love the zoning there. Look how Suzanne just clears, giving Kelly complete clean looks into that backhand corner, then opens up the forehand nick.
15 love.
Deuce box. I love that play, Lauren, where you work the ad side. You got 4 righties, you're working it, but when you get a shorter lob, you just try to slow roll it into the...
Especially when that forehand player drifts
Exactly.
towards the middle.
Here we go again, back to the zoning. Suzanne just clears. I call this the captain of the overhead, and that's why Suzanne stays there for the...
I think she could have gotten that off the screen.
I think so too.
15 all.
But I love Mirta's choice and dialing down the pace, try to get it to die on the screen, because anything hard will be easy for Kelly to retrieve. Great return right at the net player.
30.
She really caught Rohrbach by surprise there. Now it's 4-2 for Marion Cruz and Radesno over Liz Cruz and Nicolescu, second set.
Always tough playing your siblings in tournaments. I had to do it a few times. What a get by Liz Jaffe. Tremendous rip from Mirta and a stuff volley.
30 all.
Jaffe would like that one back. She didn't go for too much there. I'm not really sure what happened.
Footwork, just a little lungy. You know, you got to use those little steps like you said, little feet. Get you set up to pull the trigger, especially on the two-hander. .40-30.
40-30.
Liz Jaffe in the pink top. We're looking at her face right now. There's the volley.
Yeah.
Oh, what a lucky break.
Wow.
That's a lucky break.
First of all, it was a
Lemery,
tremendous
Rohrbach.
get by Lemery. Second
Games
of
are
all,
1-all.
to top it off with
Second
the let
set.
cord really almost seems unfair.
Well, that's when you start thinking, when you're Jaffe and Molenveld, hopefully those are going to come our way too, because that was a huge point and they get that. And so this is the kind of match Liz and Mirta just need to stay out there and try to get the winds to shift in their favor, because everything has gone Kelly and Suzanne's way. Look at that, right in the middle.
Smart shot and good recovery by Jaffe.
And I love the soft little touch that Lemery used on running up on that short ball. She just dinked it back. Kelly's got to come a little sooner. I love Suzanne's play. She gets in there, think it's going to nick. She's got to cover the screen.
15 love.
Ball. If it kicks out to the middle, Kelly should be there. Giving signals. Left hand knows what the right hand's doing.
All 4 players in this match have done well with their first volleys.
Sneaky Pete. There's the sneaky backhand off the screen.
15 all.
She had Jaffe completely fooled. I mean, Jaffe was very, very late to reacting to that because she had no idea that shot was coming.
Zero idea. And was praying to God it wasn't going to happen.
Yep.
There it is. There is their best blitz of the day.
15-30.
And look how Kelly pounced on the net. She's right on top of the net so as she could reach out and touch it. That's what I try to teach over the years. If you're going to blitz, blitz. Don't guard the service line, but play the net. Oh, I love it. I love that too.
Great 1-2 play from Molenveld.
30 all.
Terrific volley to negate the blitz and then that little cutter.
Nice little swing drop volley. You got to like that with Mirta. Mirta's future is bright, Lauren.
She's working on all sorts of different overheads. I've practiced with her a fair amount.
30-30.
And she's really trying to learn all the different shots.
Well, she has the foundation to add every tool to her toolbox as far as I can see. I mean, I love that little drop shot. When you swing at your drop shots, it freezes the net or the backcourt player. You know, they're not going to come running in. It's a complete disguise.
Now it's 5-2 for Marion Cruz and Rodesno against Liz Cruz and Nicolescu.
Here we go. What a long point we've got here.
Ooh.
Game, Molenveld, Jaffe. They lead 2 games
Jaffe
to
won
1.
it.
Second set.
Up 2-1,
Lemery,
second
Rohrbach
set.
won the first set, 6-1.
Well, Rod, what we thought was going to happen has happened. We're having a far more competitive, at least score-wise, second set. 2-1 for Jaffe Molenveld.
Yeah, it certainly has. We're on serve, and Kelly Rohrbach to serve. Just missed it. Just a bit
15
outside.
love.
15 love. Never miss a shot wide. Never miss a shot in the net in this game. If you miss, you're only allowed to miss over the baseline by a foot or less. Stay under control. Here comes a drive.
Yeah, that was too hard of an overhead by Rohrbach.
Liz has one of the best drives off the screen. And Myrna's got to learn how to locate that hard roller better. She's got the pace. Now she's got to locate it. Pretty.
Almost pulled off another
15 all.
another Showtime shot from Lemery, but she misses it in the net.
Not this time. One, two, 15 all. Nice roller from Suzanne. Tries to get it to die on the side screen. Good cover.
15-30.
Kelly hit that overhead off the deck a little too hard and let Liz load up on that two-hander.
Yeah, she gave her all kinds of time.
Great deception from Liz Jaffe. How about this coverage? Mirta with a great lob. I like the way Suzanne did a little semi-poach there, a little half poach.
I was going to say, if I were Jaffe and Molenveld, I think I would switch sides back. I don't think Molenveld is incredibly comfortable on the backhand, but they didn't really get a chance.
They didn't really get the chance, but I would agree with you 100%. Get back where you're comfy. Got the sisters playing each other on the other court. A battle over there. We'll try to give you some live updates as we get them. 30 all. Mira's got a great roller. But once again,
but she really hugged the net there.
There's the one. Perfectly hit.
30-40.
You gotta hit it such that it either hits right into the body or it hits the side screen first and then dies on the back
stays
screen.
low.
Stays low. That spin holds it tight to the screen. Break point. Hey, what goes around comes around.
Game, Jaffe.
They're even on those let cords.
On game points.
Game to one. Second set.
Seems fair.
Paddle gods are keeping it even. Up a break, 3-1. I like this from Liz, not sure. Or just told her what she wanted. Great volley. Lob in the green. Drive in the blue.
15 love.
She was up in the blue off that backside screen, but just a little too close to the side screen. Is, you know, you're forcing it.
And I feel the momentum change. I mean, I know we were anticipating it in a match with 4 players who are similar in ability. I think that it's bound to happen.
Yepper.
Now everything is going Jaffe and Molenveld's way.
Starting to switch quickly now, and that's the whole thing we were talking about. Just stay in the points long enough to let this shift happen. Don't try to add offense and fight fire with fire. Just slow it down. 30 love, 40 love.
40 love.
Good angle here. Provided by eNet Live, our friend John out of St. Louis. Puts together a great program. The live streaming's come so far since we started back here 7 years ago or so. thank the Glenview Club for hosting. And one of my old pros of 9 years, Jason Love, runs this shop down here, head pro director of rackets.
Game, Jaffe Molenveld.
Jaffe,
They lead 4-1.
Molenveld, they lead 4-1, second set. Lemery Rohrbach won the first set, 6-1.
We're going to give a quick shout out to one of our lead national sponsors of Viking. Viking Athletics is the premier brand and undisputed leader in the platform tennis world. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty platform ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour. The official paddle of the APTA, engineered to provide superior feel and perfect balance of power, control, spin, and durability. The Viking paddle is the official paddle of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour.
And on the Cruz court, Cruz Rodezno were up 5-2 in the second set over Cruz Niculescu, who won the first set.
Lemery Rohrbach, their backs to us. We're back in all black. Great hands, Suzanne Lemery. Interesting,
15
watching
love.
a great paddle volley requires 0 to very little footwork. In tennis, it's huge footwork. You volley with your feet in tennis. In paddle, you volley with your hands. Just shuffle, get yourself in line with the flight of the ball, and block. It's becoming a trend now, though, Lauren, of some players volleying more offensively than just resetting, and that's fun to watch.
Call, 15-all.
But it does require you to stand still, and which is much easier than it sounds. It's much harder than it sounds.
Correct call. 30-15.
30-15. Suzanne Lemery serving. Out of the picture now, but she'll be running in shortly.
5-3, Cruz Rodezno versus Cruz Niculescu.
I want to see, interesting there. Suzanne took the wrong ball.
She knew it. She knew it. She was apologizing to Rohrbach.
She certainly was.
Got away with one there. And this is an important game, just the way it was in the first set. They don't want to let this set get away from them, and it's close to happening.
40-15. I believe that's our score. I like the idea of them working Liz in the back end. Great blitz. Great blitz. What a drive from Liz. And again, Mirta having the sixth sense to sneak in there. And
she's very good at sensing when to come in and blitz.
Love that. Big point here for Kelly and Suzanne. They want to capitalize this and get it to 2-4. Great of the lob volley, giving her time to bail out. I like Mirta's footwork. She's starting to pick up her footwork intensity. She's got him popping.
Some short lobs here. Unusual for Lemery.
The shorter the lob, the tougher the screen shot.
Oop.
Great lob.
Found the hole.
No panic from Liz and Mirta. Great pickup. Oh. She would have loved to have been in that continental grip to punch instead of
Jaffe
swing.
Molenveld
right?
lead 4-2.
Easier said than done with these younger players, that their grip switches are so extreme.
5-4 for Cruz Rodezno against Cruz Nicolescu, Cruz Rodezno were down 5-2. Cruz Rodezno were up 5-2. Now it's 5-4.
Jaffe and Molenveld serving at 4-2 in the second set. They lost the first set 6-1.
Love.
Lemery needs to make a few adjustments here because she's just missed a bunch of forehands. She needs that shot to go back to being an offensive shot.
I'd advise her to take a big step forward. Catch it just a little sooner. You know,
15 all.
She starts with both feet in the green on her return.
Foot fault.
Ooh, we haven't heard that this match.
15-30.
I'll tell you, it's always tough in tournaments when you get away with it for 99% of the season and then you're getting called to the mat. Let's see how Mirta responds. Usually that next serve is pretty conservative after you just got called for a foot fault.
Mirta's telling herself to calm down. I really think part of the other problem with Lemery Rohrbach, with Lemery missing those forehands, is those forehands were dipping and enabling Rohrbach to come in and blitz. And by missing the forehand right away, she takes that play away. And that was a big point winner for them in the first set.
Indeed. Kelly getting down on that low double wire screen shot. I love that. I love that lob from Suzanne, that cross court inside out lob. Make the deuce court player hit more overheads. Try to get it away from Mirta to make Liz hit some overheads here. There it is. That's what she. Let's see if she gets a chance to drive now. Here's a sneaky little off-speed shot. Kelly with a turn the doorknob forehand. Great communication, Lauren. The higher the volume of you call it out, the more you want them to stay away from that ball. That you've got it.
Nice.
Great point.
40.
This is the third match of the day for these teams, so conditioning will play a role, especially if it goes long points and into a third set.
That was that high return that Lemery wished she wasn't up there for, because she was a sitting duck.
Yeah, Kelly's got to commit more, especially when you have the ad. You can go for it, right? You go for it. Put the hammer on it, let her blitz in, but you can't slow roll one and have your partner blitz.
It's 5-all in the Battle of the Cruz Sisters, so we may not be going 3 after all.
Good duck there from Mirta. Captain of the overheads is Liz, right on the line.
Right on the line. Painted it. Thought it was going to go wide.
Made her heart skip a beat. Good overhead. I love the pace from Mirta. Now she's mixing it up. Some flat overheads, heavy rollers, just a little push here. Never letting your opponents get grooved. Sneaky from Kelly.
It's the right shot.
Advantage Molenveld.
If Molenveld and Jaffe can win this one, the tables will have been turned in the fact that they survived, you know, a long game and won it. They were down 15-40. That was the theme of the first set for Lemery and Rohrbach, winning all these games after having been down. Footwork intensity.
Game Jaffe Molenveld.
Dropping.
That serve hit the line
set,
and
5-2.
left Rohrbach handcuffed.
Rohrbach won the first set 6-1.
You're so close to 4-3 when you're up 40-15, and now you're down 5-2. So
it's a big difference, 4-3 and 5-2.
Huge.
6-5 for Cruz and Nicolescu after winning the first set.
Uh-oh. Getting away from them.
Cruz Rodesno had some set points.
Is the older sister or younger sister winning at this stage, Lauren?
Well, they're twins.
They are twins.
Yeah, look at them.
Well, the older one or the younger one?
I don't know.
Wow. Love the inside-outside choices of Mirta. She goes wide to the left hip, then wide to the right hip, getting the error on the second one. That's Greg Maddox likes. I always call that the Greg Maddox of driving.
15 all.
Best location pitcher of all time.
That was a mistake on that blitz because Molenveld didn't have a good play on that volley. Should have let the ball go and let Jaffe hit it.
Kelly serving to Mirta. All right, Kelly's got to
15-30.
regroup here. She's making some errors. Down the home stretch of the second set. That hard overhead at Liz has been effective, and what a drive down at her feet.
15-40.
Double set point.
The set's been much quicker than the last one.
Didn't have those marathon games.
Hell of a return.
Game in second set.
Jaffe Molenveld. 6-2. Sets are one apiece.
We will be back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APT network presented by eNet Live for the third set.
When it comes to the game of life, we're all on the same team. And success comes simply from trying. You don't have to be a celebrated athlete to celebrate being active. And you don't have to be on the field to have your own cheering section. United Healthcare.
Welcome back to the Chicago Charities. We're in the quarterfinal round of this match.
The sleeve of that black jacket with
the third set of this match between Liz Jaffe and Mirta Molenveld, and Kelly Rohrbach and Suzanne Lemery. And just right now, Liz Cruz and Gabriela Nicolescu defeated Liz's sister Miriam Cruz and Marcela Rodesno in a match that was a seesaw battle in the second set.
I'm good.
Well, Lauren, we have split sets here. We called that actually pretty well, and
we did. We saw it coming.
We did see it coming because that first set, you had Liz Jaffe and Mirta Molenveld had so many ad points, maybe as many as a dozen before they actually won a game, and so they were right there. Played a very close set, although they lost it 6-1. But then tables turned the second set. They started capitalizing, winning, and then they won it easily.
Yeah, and they're not the kind of players, Jaffe and Molenveld, they're going to go away. They're going to get discouraged. I mean, that is discouraging to lose so many game points, but that's just going to make them determined. They knew they could come back and win the second set, and that's, in fact, what they did.
And that pattern happens so often in platform tennis. You just can't win the big points. And granted, against the great teams, it's hard to win big points off the great teams. But they did right the ship. We're going the distance. Kelly and Suzanne are having a nice little discussion here and setting their game plan for the third and final.
Yeah, I think the key to this third set is going to be Lemery's forehand. It really let her down in that second set, and it took away a lot of their offensive plays of allowing Rohrbach to come in behind her forehand that she dips down low and blitzes, and also just lost a bunch of points outright for them. So I think that that's going to be a big key to this third set.
As I mentioned in that second set, I'd like to see her step up a little bit, catching it a little sooner and getting that ball down at the volleyer while they're further off the net. She's getting her contact point a little high. But if she moves in, she'll get a lower contact point and put the hammer down. Kelly is a competitor. I remember when I interviewed her, she was the head pro at the Bel Air Country Club in sunny Southern California. She met a guy and was moving to Chicago, and I said, you better be in love with this guy if you're leaving sunny SoCal to move to Chicago. It gets cold here. And I said, if you do move, your only salvation will be platform tennis. And she picked it right up. She played that year, helped me with all the ladies' team practices, and next thing you know, she is a force.
Good to go.
Jaffe serving to start the third set.
Hold up 1 second, would you? Okay.
Perfect day for paddle. The nip in the air. No sun in the eyeballs. Just have fun.
Yep.
There's the return she was hitting so well in that first set. I think footwork intensity is the key for Lemery Rohrbach. They both teach a lot. Their feet might get a little tired late. I know Liz does the same. Mirta.
They all teach a lot. They're all on the court. Jaffe and Molenveld are on the court a lot of hours.
Well, we'll see whose feet hold up the best then, because that's going to be a determining factor. I like to watch teams at the net after they hit overheads, if they're bouncing or standing.
I think they're all going to be pretty jacked up at the beginning of this third set. We'll see as it wears on who still looks fresh.
Well, interesting first point, Lauren. Into about a 30-shot rally. You got to figure out where the offense is going to come from Kelly and Suzanne. Your feet get a little heavy and tired. You don't pull the triggers often. I'm not going to say whoever wins this first point of the... There it is.
15 love.
I was just going to say, there's a forehand for her to reassert herself with, but...
First point. Third and final set. Quarterfinal match. Chicago Charities. I think Kelly's got to start going back to up the line on Mirta on that return of serve. Looks like we're settling in for another long one.
Nice overhead.
Almost nicked it from Liz. She was going for it. You don't hit that nick if you don't aim for it. The greatest nick overheader of all time I've seen on the ladies' side was Lauren Zink. I think in that match when she defeated Liz, national finals in Long Island, she must have hit 15 to 20 of them. Great volleys, both of them using that chicken wing because Kelly spotted it up perfectly.
And both of them volleying deep, so Rohrbach couldn't follow those in to blitz.
Keeping everything neutral. There's really no advantage in these points yet. This is their final match of the day, so if either team decides they just want to pitch a tent and throw the lobs up and try to wear the other team down, they can do that. Suzanne's lobbing more balls than she had driven. You know, she was driving a lot of those earlier. So we'll see if that's her strategy. Wow.
30 love.
Got the nick.
It felt like in the first set, Lemery and Rohrbach were doing such a good job of keeping Jaffe Molenveld from finding a rhythm or a groove. They were doing all kinds of different things and throwing different paces and different shots and blitzes, and it seems like they've gone away from that.
They're just back,
30-15.
staying back, never deviating. That's exactly right, Lauren. I mean, and why is that?
I think, you miss a few shots and you get a little hesitant. A few blitzes don't go your way, and maybe you don't come in as much. There we go.
Good cover from Suzanne. They'll try to switch back. Boink. There. Sneaky offense. Holy Toledo.
There's a nice point to give you a little confidence again. That was
wow.
That was one tricky one too.
Indeed. 30-all. First game of the final set for berth into the semis. Number 4 seeds with their faces towards us, Suzanne Lemery and Kelly Rohrbach, with the number 6 seeds backs to us, Liz Jaffe and Mirta Molenveld. There we go.
Just a second late.
Yeah, and she should already be there. And again, if she's getting a little fatigued, you got to be sticking your nose in there. And maybe I like the play when Suzanne would call help. When it looks like it's going to be tight, you bark out help, and that's the cue for Kelly to come before the ball hits the screen. Good transition back from Mirta and Liz. Kelly kept the pressure on them, and they rope-a-doped that perfectly. Great lob from Mirta. She's got some, look at this. Look at this.
She put a good point together there.
She
Molenveld
constructed a brilliant
lead
point.
1-0. Third set.
To the point now where they're talking, look, if Mirta's getting hot here, maybe we got to switch and make Liz beat us.
It's tricky, right? Because Jaffe is going to be solid as a rock and not make any mistakes. So do you want to try to wear her down, or you want to take your chances that Molenveld's going to miss a few balls? Which she did in the first set, but she's really tightened things up.
That's what I do. Love 15.
Okay. Kelly and Suzanne got to right the ship a little bit here. You can get away from you in a hurry on this game.
Love
Double
30.
trouble, little push return. We followed up with a blitz from Mirta, forcing the error into the net.
Jaffe's over there bouncing up and down. She was ready to go. Feeling good about things right now.
Well, she should. It's starting to go her way.
Love 40.
She is a tiger too, boy. When she senses a little shift of energy, momentum, she's all over that.
There it is.
Game,
2
Jaffe
games to love.
Molenveld. They lead 2-0, third set.
Mirta serving. They're back to us. Let cord. I'm not a big fan of driving
love.
let cord serves. I've always coached, if they let cord you, throw it up.
It's very hard to get the timing right to drive a let cord serve.
And that one wasn't even that difficult, but it's just enough to throw the timing off. That's like 6 points in a row for Mirta and Liz.
And a lot of them have been quick points.
30 love.
Lob. Good recovery by Molenveld. Got back in there quickly.
Good overheads from Liz, just neutralizing Kelly. Not there though. Gotta make that.
All those shots they were making in the first set have just gone away for them, for Lemery Rohrbach. It's just a lot of errors that they just didn't make in the first set.
Good duck.
Game, Jaffe Molenveld. They lead 3-0. Third set.
Well, it's time to recognize another one of our national sponsors. Save a Tree, trees, shrub, and lawn care. The APTA thanks our official sponsor, Save a Tree, the green choice for tree, shrub, and lawn care. Let Save a Tree focus on your landscape so you can focus on your paddle game and enjoy every outdoor moment at home or at play. Save a Tree provides environmentally sensible services to properties in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and Western regions. Contact them at saveatree.com for a complimentary landscape assessment by a knowledgeable arborist. Save a Tree offers organic and hybrid options for plant health care, general tree care, and lawn care, all highly customized to meet needs of each landscape and homeowner. Customers choose Save a Tree for their high-level customer service, responsiveness, and results. What a volley off a rocket forehand from Mirta Molenveld, the Netherlands. Currently teaching out east. Love the altitude on Liz Jaffe's lobs. Little Denver Mile High stuff. Higher than the lights out there if you can. Then you get big looks like that Mirta capitalizes on.
Yeah, she's really making just
Love
a very
15.
high percentage of those balls now.
Unlike the first set. Train is rolling down the tracks now. Chicago's in trouble. Good high lob from Mirta. Taking pride in your lobs, Lauren, is something a lot of players don't do. They look at it almost just a throwaway shot. But to get them higher off the double wire screenshots in particular and strike them properly so they get top spin on them so they'll turn over. Hit them higher and deeper.
And if you like to drive, the only way to get balls that are going to let you win the point with the drive is to hit good lobs. That's why the players who figure that out are the best players.
15 all.
Truer words never spoken right there. Kelly gets a nick in the deuce corner. Perfect overhead. And they need some quick points. They need to win some points like that. Down love 3 in the third and final set. Love the dink. Cat and mouse stuff. There's your nice lob and a perfect overhead. Wow. Kelly pulled a rabbit out of the hat off of Mirta's roller.
Yeah, she did. I don't know how she controlled that ball.
It's so hard to control those hard balls off the deck, and that's what your striker wants you to do. They want you to take it off the deck. Good choice, but it was right size, wrong shape. Love Liz stepping up on that return, up into the court, squeezing the court between her and her opponents and letting that drive go.
And at this point, Lemery Rohrbach must be wondering what in the heck they have to do to win a point. Well, that hit a magical little drop volley that you weren't trying to drop volley.
That's a good start. Nice little huddle up here. Rohrbach serving to Molenveld. Wow, that's a perfect location. Had just enough pace on it to make it extra effective.
Point for 4-love.
Game, Jaffe, Molenveld.
She closed in on it brilliantly, but got a little too handsy with it.
She did close. Well, now Molenveld and Jaffe just have to stay solid, and I think they're going to cruise their way through this one, unless Lemery Rohrbach can pull something special out.
All signs are pointing in that direction, Lauren.
Love.
Not sure what happened there.
Wasn't quite sure of that either. 15 love. Died in the corner. Perfect length and touch by Molenveld.
Molenveld calling every overhead.
So good.
Calls them early, so Jaffe gives her plenty of room. Comes out.
30 love.
4 love, 30 love. Jaffe, Molenveld.
30 love. No, Kelly just received.
Little question as to the score and who's serving where. Gene Kempner, our APTA referee up in the chair from Las Vegas, Nevada. Right. Born and raised in these parts, though. Teaching pro at the Evanston Golf Club for years. Winter Club in Lake Forest, where Kelly works now. Small little world it is. $30-15. First fault in a while for Jaffe.
I think the first won the whole match.
We'll have to re-roll the tape on that, maybe.
You think I'm wrong?
I thought she might have had one early, but I would not bet on it.
It's very possible. Certainly there have been very few, which is usual for her.
Exactly.
She's not a faulter.
She gives nothing away.
No.
Rock solid. Her service.
40-30.
Mark, did we jinx her?
It's amazing how often that happens.
Liz has that traditional paddle serve, you know, where she starts with the hands up and just rolls in.
Jaffe Molenveld, they lead 5-0. Third set.
Well, Rod, they took that first set and they took their lumps in that first set, and they didn't get discouraged, and they figured out what they had to do to to make themselves competitive in this match, and they just took over.
They certainly did, and again, one of my favorite sayings, as you learn over the years from other pros in your world, is Ray Murphy coined the term once, who was a local pro here, a great player. The first set's only 20% of the match. Now, mathematically, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's more than that. But the point of that is, you lose the first set, just regroup, figure out a game plan, play it, and win. Second and third sets.
Yeah, we saw that in the earlier stream match too, where Zubori and Ondrejkova lost the first set, and they regrouped and came back to win it also.
Just don't panic. If you lose that first set out there, gang, you know, just come up with a game plan you both agree to and stick to it. The old say there is plan your play and play your plan. You tell your students to have a game plan, and they say, this is what we're going to do, and they go out there and they didn't even get close to executing it. You know, so you've got to stick to it. And if it doesn't work, go to plan B. I've seen 4 matches in platform tennis down 5-love in the third set.
I played one. Well, no, I can't really say. My partner Isla Main and I at Nationals played against Lemery and Rohrbach. We were down 5-love in the third, got back to 5-all,
and
lost in a tiebreaker.
Good comeback.
Isn't that a terrible story?
Well, I was hoping for a better fairy tale ending than that one. Is it worse or better if he'd have just lost 6-love? Was it?
I think it was worse. We were all so tired.
That's the question. To battle all the way back and get there.
Love 30.
Suzanne gets a little flippy, and when you're that close to the net, you can't flip. You've got to stick. It's like I tell my 4-year-olds learning paddle, just policemen just say stop. You know, just rack it up, stop. Don't flip. All right. Let's see if they believe in miracles here.
As great as it is to have such good hands as Lemery does,
15-30.
You have to be careful not to use them too much sometimes. When you can do too many things like that at the net, you can get sloppy and try to hit shots that shouldn't be hit.
If you're further off the net, you can be a little handsier, but when you're closing in tight off a hard ball.
There's Jaffe's favorite shot where
15-40.
Lemery was all over that in the first set. She's just tired. Looks tired to me.
There it is. The East Coast teaching pros got a little more legs left at the end, although it is not over.
30-40.
First match point saved.
And now it's a challenge. You know, you're down 5-love, 40-15, 40-30. How fun would it be to come back and steal this? This is what you got to say to yourself. There, she didn't flip that one. She just punched. Doink.
It's a good time for that.
Perfect nick. Where's that been? Maybe she's going to find a bunch more of those. It's a good camera angle. There at the net. Saved off 2. Match points. Back to deuce. Great trench warfare there. Love that.
Diffuse the blitz. Lemery diffused the blitz nicely. We're back to square one.
That lob volley is tough to hit in this game. She did it. She's done it a couple times.
Advantage Lemery.
You never know.
You think, how could it be possible? But then it happens.
Well, you did it. You climbed that mountain, and then
halfway.
And I'll tell you something about
Dame
Kelly.
Lemery Rohrbach.
She will fight hard to the finish. I don't know Suzanne quite
Jaffe
as well, but I think
Molenveld
she's cut out
lead
of the
5
same
games
cloth.
to 1. Third set.
All of these players, no one's giving up, regardless of what the score is. Makes no difference.
There's that
15 love.
first point error. Wow. Great get from Suzanne.
Just reached it.
She's got some great emergency skills, but
30 love.
overhits the drive from deep in the green. Signal given from Jaffe. I think she wants her to serve it up the tee. Love Liz Jaffe's early preparation on those overheads. She practiced what she preaches all day at work. Ouch.
40 love.
Let's see if they can.
3 more match points.
Dig their way out of this hole.
If they can dig their way out of this hole, then I'm giving them a good chance to come all the way back. There it is. Game, set, and match. Jaffe Molenveld.
Jaffe Molenveld.
Nice comeback. Losing the first set
2-6.
6-1 and then the win
6-1,
6-2, 6-1
6-1.
decisively, Lauren.
Good match, ladies.
Good fun doing it with you.
It was a good match to do. We saw a lot of good paddle, a lot of different, not just wham bam, a lot of different good paddle play.
Indeed. They move on into the semifinals,
where they will face Cruz and Nicolescu tomorrow morning.
6 number 1 seeds going to tee it up. Might see that right here on ENET Live. Thank you.